What's going on, guys? I'm here. I'm just kidding. We were talking about that off mic. Hey, oh my god, it's just me right now. Just kidding. We've got a full house today. We're doing something a little bit special, a very special, and a lot of it different. I am your host as usual. However, I am not going to be the GM. I get my own little special thing here because this is my stream. But who you're going to want to be focusing on tonight in our very first stream of a tabletop RPG is the man all the way down on the end there. That is Kieran, our GM. Kieran, tell us a little bit about what we can experience today on the experience point.
Well, on the experience point, I was about to call it a podcast. It's not a podcast. On this live stream, you can expect to have lots of fun, lots of giggles, lots of goofiness, and also, hopefully, a very dramatic shared storytelling experience.
Yeah,
as we play this game,
it's certainly going to be dramatic because the last session that we had, the shit hit the fan so bad that we were like, people need to see this. So that's why we're here.
Hit the fan so bad we stayed an extra hour longer than we normally do.
Yeah, we did. Oh yeah, it's totally. What do you mean? It's 6 p.m. currently, and we were.
Oh, of course. Time is no object.
Definitely not. Wait, Leon, what time is it?
It is 4:17 for me.
Sounds like we're early. Sounds like we're early.
Early.
That's right.
So yeah, we're playing a completely original RPG in the system of Savage Worlds. It's not D&D, but it's basically D&D. This is new for pretty much all of us. It's definitely new for me here as the stream as to like running the stuff behind the scenes. So bear with us here with any technical issues as we're having our first sesh. But the goal is to basically, we're going to talk a little bit about the world because this is a completely original world written by Kieran and Matteo, who you will hear from in a second. Talk about our individual characters and then do a recap of all the shenanigai, which is, yes, that is the plural of shenanigans that have ensued so far. So
it's an educational podcast.
Yes, yeah. I feel like I need to have like a little like whiteboard or something to like write this down. So Kieran, if you want to like say anything to set up before I do a dramatic reading of your bio for the world.
My Dragon Ball Z intro.
Yeah, I'll do that voice if you want.
Oh, please. Oh, you don't have to.
Did you send that to me, by the way?
It's in our like DMs on Discord.
Gotcha.
All right, so everybody, hi. I'm Kieran, and this world is the final, or at least the current evolution of this very same world that I made all the way back like 10 years ago or more in high school.
Wow.
Aging myself. With one of our players here, Leon. He was part of the first iteration of this world, where it was my first D&D campaign that I GM'd, and none of us had any idea what we were doing, and it was great, and it was very different. This is almost unrecognizable. But basically, the world of Rokan is in the midst of a magical industrial revolution in which the country on the screen of Yorli is kind of the Britain of this world. It is the industrial home, the powerhouse of the world that also acts as a global imperialist sort of power. And there's all sorts of contradictions and countries that are, resisting or otherwise assisting the Orleans. And also all sorts of contradictions within Yorli. There's the Yorlians themselves, which were originally migrants from thousands of years ago from the main continent. The original people that inhabited this island, this archipelago, were the Ards, who we have two players who are playing Ards. We have Matteo on the same screen and Melissa, both playing Ards, which are sort of like gray-skinned people that have been colonized, essentially, and their land has been stolen for thousands of years, all the way up until, if you look on that beautiful map, that a beautiful region all the way on the rightmost side, which I won't dare pronounce, that is the last remaining vestige of Ardish territory. Now, our campaign itself, this is the country. We're settled in our campaign anyway, so far, entirely in the city of Coidwen, which is where the mouse is right now, all the way on the far left side of Catref, the region. And Coedwin is the hub, the home of the industry in Yorley, the home of the magical industry, in which people cast spells into crystals, which are then used in automatic spellcasting devices, otherwise known as autocasters, that basically you can cast a spell without having to know any magic. And there's a whole bunch of other stuff that we could get into, but I'll leave it at that for now because I've already said probably too much.
Too much. Nice. I didn't realize that you and Leon went to high school together. That's cool.
And Mateo.
And Mateo? Oh, sick.
Wow.
Wow.
Awesome.
Now you're holding
Go
down.
Cavaliers.
We're holding down both sides of the country right now. Then Leon has made a pilgrimage to the West Coast. All right.
Yeah.
So, shall I begin our dramatic reading of your
Please.
the intro
Please.
to the world of Rokan?
Yes.
You said Dragon Ball Z. You're gonna get it. 5 centuries ago, the world of Rokan was devastated by the demon prince Casimir and his army of thralls. It was only when Magnus Glenn, the Griffin Rider of Yorley, convinced the mysterious but powerful Aenorians to make war with the forces of darkness that they could be beaten back. By the power... I see Felisa going nuts down there. By the power of their Thunder Horse riders, the army of Yorley and Aenor slew Casimir and scattered his army. Thus, the Aenorian guard set out to expel the darkness that remained and spread the light of their Lucerican church. Don't know if I pronounced that right.
You got it.
5 centuries hence, Yorley remains the strongest power in all of Rokan. The nation finds itself in the midst of a magical industrial revolution, with titanic corporations like Martell Magics operating the continent-spanning industries that produce a vast array of magical products, from consumer spells to weapons of war. The heart of the magics industry in Yorley is Coedwin, where we now find ourselves. Its streets are ruled by petty gangsters, fascist mobs, labor unions, and crooked cops. Nothing like our real world that we have today. The contradictions of
Minus
industrialism.
the labor unions.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, right.
We're working on it. Its streets are ruled, no, I already read that part. The contradictions of industrialization and imperialism threaten to destroy the Yorlian world order that has been so carefully maintained for half a millennium. What covert plots that lurk in the shadows will be thrust into the daylight by our band of heroes, in air quotes if you're just listening. Meet the characters.
Yeah.
Damn. Woo!
That was fucking awesome.
Hell yeah.
That was amazing.
Now that
Are you kidding me?
Now that I have no voice.
You can do your
Why don't we give
normal
Andrew a
voice, hon.
break?
That was amazing.
Yeah. Let's give them a break and have...
Appreciate
who wants
that.
to go first? How about Oliver goes first?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and if you want to say anything about you as a real human as well,
yes.
like who you are, what you're into, maybe, I don't know. We don't have to make this like a dating profile, but like to get to know
And Mateo,
the players.
Mateo, if you want to go to the game and show, like on your stream,
The game.
and show the characters as we're going, show their little cute icons.
Let me just switch instead of closing it, and that should be painless.
Lovely.
Killer.
All right. And you want to maybe zoom in on the people, target them, throw some attacks their way.
Oh yeah, nice.
Okie dokie. Well, hello everybody. My name is Leon. I am currently on the West Coast for graduate school. I study entomology and I work with parasites and chickens. I like long walks on the beach, romantic comedies. And, the little jest there. Well, it is true, but
It's okay if
yeah,
it's not.
let's get that.
Shoot your
No,
shot.
it's definitely true. No,
Don't forget Soju. He's a massive
oh
fan
yeah, I'm
of Soju.
soju. Yeah, I'm an alcoholic. I mean, I just finished this before.
Damn. List your green and red
right here.
flags.
Hey, they could be all green.
The right person.
Yeah, exactly. No, so yeah, a little bit about Oliver. I wrote a little bio I'm going to be reading. Oliver Cadogan was a born genius, but tragedy struck early. His mother died during childbirth, and his father later perished from the goldenrod after years of brutal factory work. Orphaned and driven by intellect, Oliver made a name for himself through his innovative inventions that aided the slum dogs of Falham, which soon attracted the attention of Professor Arsene Cargyle, who was a distinguished professor at Sedgwick College, the premier college in all of Codwin. Cargyle took Oliver under his wing, being a sponsor and almost a second father figure. And all went well until Oliver started his internship in a Martel's Magics factory. During his internship with the Martel Corporation, Oliver was caught doing shady dealings with an ard by the name of Mad Dog, who we'll soon meet. He was reported for this conduct, and this resulted in the Martel Corporation ransacking his workshop and finding out what he was researching, which will be a secret. With nowhere else to go, Oliver attempted to find his mentor, but was unable to find him without a trace of his whereabouts. And after recent events, Oliver knows where Professor Cargyle is, and is determined to free the man who gave the prodigy of Falham a shot. So yeah, a little bit about, Oliver is just, a young youth in Codwin. He's an academic, and yeah. Thank you, everyone.
I love how everyone has a different pronunciation of the city.
Yeah.
Really okay.
Codwin.
It's just regional dialects.
So
Yeah.
That's all it is.
So Leon mentioned in his bio the goldenrod. Now that is a certain thing that I mentioned earlier, the magics industry. The way that this works is, in order to be able to cast magic, you need to drink this golden sap, this magical substance that gives you magical abilities. And the thing is, though, is when you drink this sap, it has all these horrible negative effects that take root over a couple years, and they call it the golden rot. And so your skin, when you drink the sap, you see your veins are sort of translucent and glowing and shimmering gold, and even your eyes. But eventually that sort of turns into like this cancerous effect where your whole body starts glowing and wasting away, and you turn into like this radioactive specimen, and it kills you. It's like a wasting. And this is a massive problem for a lot of the people, or all of the people basically, who work in the magics industry, is that they'll all die a very quick death. It'll be a long death, but their life will be shortened quite considerably because of this. But for a lot of people, it's the only way that they can make a living, so that's what they got to do.
Wow.
Anyone want to go next? Maybe Madog, since you were referenced. Oh no, we're gonna do Madog last. Me and him talked about this.
Oh.
So maybe.
I want to go.
Oh yeah, sure.
No, sorry. Sean, do you want to go? Or do... Yeah. No, you go ahead.
Go ahead, love.
All right. I'm gonna take these off.
Oh, you can hear my
Okay.
echo.
So, I'm Melissa. I'm just a teacher. But I'm playing Sean. I'm just gonna read this little blurb here. So Sean, just to give you a little background, Sean lived a happy and simple life in an artish village called Ashby with her parents and her two sisters. In Ashby, everyone knew each other, and it was a very community-based village. Everyone just knew each other and helped each other and supported each other. That changed on Sean's 13th birthday. So the Yorlian army descended upon Ashby and it was led by a man by the name of Tarkus. Okay, and he brought dozens and dozens of soldiers into Ashby, and
Mateo, do you want to switch to Melissa's token?
within a few hours, good. Okay, the town was the village was pretty much destroyed. Okay, so having witnessed so much early on, Sean was only about like 13 years old at the time. She's about like 23, 24 right now. She's generally distrusting of people. She keeps distances, and basically after everything that happened in Ashby, she was transported into the city, into how do you say Kiernan? Codewin?
Coidwen.
Wait.
Coidwin. Oh, okay, Coidwin.
We're gonna get it wrong in like
Okay.
20 minutes.
I know. Horrible. So yeah, she was transported into Coidwin, and she basically just started working in Wen factories, which I'm sure is probably like sponsored by the Martell family, right, and everything. So she started working in Wen factories, and she would just attend like strikes and unions, and she just got to know the city, and found community with people that had similar experiences to her, and that's Sean. I think,
Okay.
unless I missed something. No, I think I'm good.
Cool.
Beautiful.
Do
Now, Sean mentioned that her. Yeah.
I think you're going the same place as me. You're going to explain
Okay.
what the Wen
So-
is.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the Wen. So Sean worked at a Wen workshop. It's not really a factory. It's more of a workshop. And these. So Wens is basically, it's like a white tree that grows all over Yorley. There's some that grow over the world, but mainly in Yorley. And these trees are like these. It's another way essentially that you can cast magic is if you get a branch of this tree that's been put through this procedure that they do in the workshops. It basically is like a magic wand, and so it's a way to cast magic without having sap. However, not just anyone can have one of these, of course, because why would the government want people going around casting magic willy-nilly? So they're highly regulated, basically just made for the sort of people who the government would want to have them, aka people in the military, high-ranking officials, or whatever. And so Sean's character would work in a workshop in the city, basically trimming the branches, refining them, and rubbing them down with that sap, the golden sap that the factory casters use to sort of fortify them. And the other thing about Wens is that they're white on the outside, but they bleed red sap. And this red sap is basically an alternative to the golden sap that's way less potent, but it gets the job done in a pinch.
I too am white on the outside and bleed red sap.
Oh my
I'm more brown, so I can't relate.
Well,
all right.
Fun
how about
experiences.
Kalisa, if you want to go?
Sure. So let me pull up my little bio here. So I'll start by saying hi. My name is Kalisa. I do a lot of creative things in my day-to-day, but I really am very new to Tabletop. This is my first campaign. It's really fun. And my character's name is Vantalion. He is Yorlian. He's 5'11". He has darker skin with long twisted locks, a lean physique with a touch of chin hairs. He's a young man who carries himself with unusual grace. And then, so he was born to a medically fragile mother in the most dangerous part of Coidwin. Ven was left to fend for himself at about age 6 when his mother eventually passed away of a mysterious illness. His father's identity and or whereabouts are at this moment pretty much unknown to him. Since his mother's death, he spent a lot of his time running with street kids and learning to pickpocket for survival. He's quick-witted, fast-talking, and observant, then grows up fast in the alleys and back streets of Coidwin. Presently, he's about 19 years old, and he's made quite the name for himself as a first-class thief with a mysterious power he cannot fully understand or control. And he was also born on the 7th of Fallow.
Ooh, with the lore. The lore
She
month.
said Coidwin correctly as well.
Yeah. I think that's
On the
probably
game.
I think that probably deserves
Thank you,
a Benny.
Professor.
Yeah, that's okay.
That gets a Benny.
We barter for Betty's from the DM.
Well, you have to, because I'm not going to remember otherwise. I don't think there was anything lore-wise that I need to explain in there. I think we're good.
I think after character introductions, it might be good to talk about things like Bennies or what separates what differentiates Savage Worlds from like D&D or something that people may be used to. Just a real quick before we get into recap.
Andrew, I guess you're the last one.
All right. Let me parch my or wet my whistle here.
Quench your thirst.
Yeah, I don't want to parch my thirst. I've already done that. All right. So, my character is Captain Tajak Talindi. Forgive the dramatic ass thing that I wrote up, but I couldn't not.
Lay it on.
Captain Tajak Talindi is a privateer, hailing from the sun-drenched Isles of Barnica, a land of warm winds and dangerous jungles, where he was most at home sailing blue sea and sky. Middle-aged but far from slowing down, Tajak is a hunter of dangerous game, both human and monstrous, known in the floating ports for his deadly efficiency. He wears a myriad of jewel-toned robes, tattered and scorched from years of exposure to sun, adventure, and combat. One arm hangs free, exposing a shoulder clad in gleaming armor, as battle-scarred as the bare skin beneath. A wide bamboo hat shades his weathered face, tassels and beads swaying in the wind like whispering spirits. At his lower back rests a set of kukri blades, and kept even closer to the chest sit Havoc and Harmony, twin autocaster pistols that shimmer with the magic restrained within. Now, armed with more than weaponry, a deadly secret takes him far from the sky lanes of his home to the streets of Koiduan, a city of soot and smokestacks, trying to find his place in a world where rules are strange and the people are stranger. But gold still talks, and Tajak Talindi is always listening.
Beautiful. There's one thing in there that I want to touch on, which is the
Yes.
autocasters.
Yes.
And we mentioned those before, but I just want to briefly talk about that a little bit, which is that, this was, I think, mentioned in the world introduction, but autocasters are like automatic spellcasters. So, and the major form that they take is that of weapons. So, in the factories, there are people who just stand there all day casting the same spell over and over again into these crystals, which is, of course, horrible work, but that's how it is. And to cast the spell into the crystal, you take the crystal and you put it into an autocaster. You can, and from there, the autocaster is powered usually through the work of a hand crank, which charges a battery in the gun. And then you pull the trigger, releases this electric spark, and boom goes the spell. Now, whatever spell you want, it could be a laser, it could be all sorts of stuff. Most of the things we have are basically just lasers and fire in our characters, because that's just what we've found so far. There's all sorts of other stuff, but that's what you got. And yeah, so that's the autocaster.
Sick.
Now, I believe that leaves us with Madog.
All right. Am I good to go?
Go right ahead.
Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm Mateo. I went to school for music, but I have a love for theater, and I think that bled into D&D. Now I really have a love for that. My character here is Madog. I had a lot of fun creating him, and so I'll read his little bio that I made up, which is kind of dramatic, but I'll have fun with it.
Yes.
Hopefully you will too.
Yes.
So here sits a man. His name is Madog. He's currently down an arm and exhausted after battle against the asshole across from him, who goes by the name of the Orphan. Madog hates the bullshit moniker as much as he hates the bullshit heavy sword that split him like a can opener. You see, this would be the second time Madog has lost something. The first time would happen a decade or so ago when he was a soldier. Madog had been a soldier most of his life. Being born in a village that bordered between proposed Euralian settlement territory and historical artist grounds meant every man, woman, and child would have to fight. He would be one of those childs. And while everyone here knows how that sounds, it should be noted that the Artish Liberation Forces are fighting a war for the survival of its people. And anyways, it wasn't all that bad. Madog loved it, and he was damn good at it, until he wasn't. In an instant, his village would be destroyed and his comrades killed. He was left with no choice but to leave, and boy did he run. He ran until he couldn't anymore, and just when he thought he'd starve or die to the wilds, he found himself standing before that gleaming city of hate he had been told so much about by his elders. This is Koiduan. So, with nothing but the clothes on his back, Madog had no choice but to find work. and communion among those with similar stories to his. Now, he does, in fact, work in those factories we've been hyping up so much that suck. And so he is he's suffering from the sap sickness. Which is a fun thing, because I spend most of the time always scavenging for sap. Now, he did build a life doing this work and finding communion among others. In that, he met Sean, was a close friend of his, and other distant cousins from other villages that he was able to build a little village in private within his little city. But in truth, he was always burning with the warrior's passion. He couldn't be held down. And perhaps that's why he's here now, selling drugs and conspiring against the state with all these useless fuckheads that allowed him to get split open by that brutish orphan. Sorry, guys. Sorry, I'm taking.
I love it. I love it. The dedication.
Yes.
I apologize. I don't feel that way. Only a little bit, maybe. That was Mad Dog coming out, but yeah, that's Mad Dog, and that's kind of the situation that we're in, without giving away too much.
That was awesome. Awesome.
All right. Now that we've had a taste of characters, maybe before we recap story, do you want to... Is there anything that any viewers should know about how this would differ from D&D, Kieran? We already talked about bennies, which may be a strange sounding word to a new person. All of this is going to sound strange to a new person, but...
Mateo, if you just double click on Mad Dog so we can look at your character sheet.
Totally.
So we see your normal stats called attributes aren't the same as what you'd expect from D&D. You have agility, smarts, spirit, strength, and vigor, which they map on kind of close to other, regular D&D stuff. You can kind of figure out what they are. You have your skills, and now D&D is a D20 system, so you use a D20 20-sided die for most of your rolls. Savage Worlds is kind of an everything system. It uses all sided die for all sorts of stuff. But the main thing is, I guess, wild cards, which are our main characters. Basically, any character who's important is called a wild card. Those players get to roll an extra d6 for basically all your important rolls. So anything except damage, basically, you get an extra d6 to roll. You also have 3 wounds before you're incapacitated. Now in D&D, of course, most other systems you have hit points. Savage Worlds has wounds, so you need to roll above a certain threshold to wound a person, and if you wound them 3 times, it's basically like taking 3 major wounds. That knocks them out. And if you fail a vigor roll after that, then you're dead. There's a whole bunch of other stuff. That's the long and short of it. I think, yeah, other than that, if you know D&D, you kind of know what to expect.
All right.
Oh, bennies.
How about bennies?
Yeah. Yeah, the one thing. So bennies. Now, Savage Worlds was originally made for a sort of Weird West setting, although you can use it for any setting you want. And so a lot of the terms like wild cards, bennies, and the fact that in combat, the order of initiative is determined by dealing cards, it comes out of that Old West tradition. Now, the bennies are short for benefits, and one benny essentially allows you to re-roll a roll that you don't like. It lets you soak damage, so if you take a wound and you really don't want to take that wound, you can use a benny to not take the wound. Or you can use a benny to, in combat, when you get hit at first, you become shaken. Now, shaken basically means you can't do anything. You can't do any attacks. You can move around, but you can't do any attacks until you unshake. It's basically like, in combat, you're like dazed. And so you can use a benny to unshake. I think there's probably some other things, but that's basically it.
Kind of like inspiration.
Yeah.
It's a bit like inspiration from D&D. That's true.
I would say maybe a way to get anyone who's watching now involved. If you want to maybe cater to, not cater, but oh my god, what is the word? When you're like presenting something or when you're going up to bat for somebody.
Support?
Like a-
Support?
No, like if you want to.
Promote?
No.
Are you saying the viewers should call for us to get bennies? Because
I would say if you want to appeal, that's what I was going to say. If you want to maybe appeal to our DM here, our GM, and you think we do something cool or have a cool roleplay moment, you want to be like, hey, yo, that deserves a Benny, because he did just take away our ability to regenerate them. So
Right. So that's the other thing. Is that you
Encouraging
get
peer
bennies.
pressuring.
so
Because the thing
Wow.
is, when you have bennies, you just reuse them over and over and over again. It takes away some of the stakes.
Yeah,
okay? So
totally.
originally,
That's
you're
fair.
supposed to get 5 bennies at the start of every session, but I don't like that. So I have it that you keep the ones and you only get new ones by me giving you them. And the way that you get a new one is by doing a cool roleplay thing, by doing playing your character in a way that would be realistic to them, whatever. So it encourages, roleplay.
Yeah, and I would say this is overall a net positive, because I think the situation that we currently find ourselves in is because we couldn't have bennied all of the things that just happened in our last session.
Yes. So true.
So-
Oh my God.
Very messy situation we find
As
ourselves
you
in.
can see, I went down to 2 bennies, and I think I was like an 8 at some point.
Yeah. So
Sean, on your character sheet, I think you have like 14 bennies or something.
Sean has a
ridiculous.
shit ton.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have those on this. No, you only have 4. You might have to fix that. Either way, you were saying, Andrew.
Yeah, I just want to double check and see how many I have.
I might not have put your bennies in right
I
because
have-
I was messing with your characters when I was plugging all this in.
I have 3.
Honestly,
Your
I'll take
like on
what
your
I
original
have.
character
I
sheet?
like being handicapped.
Oh, I have 3 in the game, and I have 3 in real life. So that was correct.
Okay, there you go.
All right. With that, I think it's probably a good time to, unless there's anything anyone else wants to add, start recapping the stories so far. Kieran, if you want to start with here's general things that have been happening in the world, and then maybe Leon, Mateo, and Melissa can talk about the first session that you guys had before Polisa and I joined, and then we can kind of go chronologically from there.
Sure. In the world, Mateo, do you want to pull up that world map?
Absolutely.
I feel like this can give us a picture, kind of what the world situation looks like. Now, this world map is expertly and beautifully drawn on a set of notebook paper by yours truly, many moons ago.
In high school?
And no, this was pretty recent. Although I do still have the map from high school, it is literally just Europe reversed with the borders mixed through it.
Nice.
So
called
as you can
Terra?
see, it was called Terra at first. Yeah, that's how original we were.
Wow.
So you can see up in the top right corner is the tiny little island of Yorli. And now mentioned in the intro was that the forces of Yorli and Aenor went to battle with the demons. Now Aenor isn't anywhere on this map except it's that big star in the middle of Yorli. Aenor is this big magical floating city which descended from the heavens 5 centuries ago, and sort of connected with the landmass of Yorli. Now the Aenorians, if you just want a quick easy picture, they're basically elves. So your average Aenorian is pretty tall and slender with sort of glowing hair that almost seems to defy gravity, pointy ears, and they have the sap naturally in their blood. So they can cast spells. They don't need to drink sap. They just have it in them.
So these would be like the high elves in other
they're not-
fiction.
Yeah.
Not like Legolas,
Yes,
but more like I'm thinking of like Oblivion, like the high elves in that,
Yeah.
or Elder Scrolls in general.
Sure, yeah. You can imagine that if you want to get a picture for Aenorians.
Most
Uh,
fantastical image, yeah.
Now you see the continent. There's a shit ton of stuff, but basically you can imagine it like Eurasia plus Africa flipped around. So we got all sorts of countries. Doesn't really matter. The main thing is Yorli is this major colonial power that, with its allies, especially Verdot, especially Niepvorak, or it should actually be Niepvoria now, we changed that, but that's fine. They are some of the main powers in this world that's, run shit, basically.
Hey, talk about
they're those
Barnica.
monsters. Oh, Barnica, of course, which
And-
is,
and the-
funnily enough, not written on this map for some reason.
And like the
Barnica
wastes
is this-
and thralls, because like you mentioned thralls in the thing, but
Yes. So why don't we start with that? So
Yeah.
the thralls actually, I've got well, you don't have to pull it up now, but there's a picture of them. Basically, they're these giant stone men monster things. They're like an amalgamation of flesh and stone, and they're horrific. And they supposedly came from, they're the forces of hell, led by the demon prince Casimir. Doesn't matter. They're demons. And they wreaked havoc across all of this continent, until the Orleans defeated them. And when they defeated them, they only basically defeated their leader. So all of them remained on the earth. And because of that, the Aenor, right, has their special army, the Aenorian Guard. They went out across the continent and have been doing battle against these thralls, basically starting from where you see on the map, Verdot, Tallinn, Valchevo, and just went all the way across until where you see the wastes is. And they cleared the thralls, and in clearing the thralls, they spread their church, known as the Lucerican Church, or the Lucerica. And so you basically get Europe. So Europe is on sort of the right side of this map. That's just the quote-unquote European-like region. And the further away you get from that, the more you can tell the wastes, they didn't really get very far with their project in 5 centuries. And so a lot of the world is still destroyed. Now Frisia, which to my own shame is not as well developed as it nearly should be, it's kind of equivalent of like an African continent. And there are like nations and stuff in there, but we haven't written it in the map. Yeah, and so there's still a shit ton of thralls out in the wastes, and that is why it is wasted, is because these demons basically destroyed everything and brought hell on Earth. And so the Aenorian Guard is still going out there, still trying to spread the church and trying to kill all those thralls. Now Barnica, not written on the map unfortunately, but it is that big system of archipelagos, big system of islands. It is, it's like this sort of, it's a very diverse place. There's a lot of different ethnic groups in them. The majority in power ethnic group is kind of Korean influenced, the Gomjuk. And they work with the Orleans as through this strait between the continent and Frisia is where most of the trade happens. It's a very important strait. And so the Orlean Far West Company, the colonial company, goes to Barnica. They hunt these monsters, these giant jungle plant monsters in the island jungles of Barnica, known as jags. They hunt these monsters, cut them up, sell them, and people eat them and smoke them and drink them in the form of jag smoke or jag brew, which is basically like coffee. And that is where our Andrew's character Tajak is from. And I think that's basically everything you need to know.
I'll say as
I just threw a lot, but
yeah. I'll say as a quick aside, I know that my character is of the equivalent Asian descent in this one. If viewers are offended by my accent, I promise no ill will. It's just for flavor. I kind of try to play him almost like Sao Feng from Pirates of the Caribbean 3. So I just want to put that out there. I'm not trying to be offensive with the accent. I'm just trying to be true to the lore. So
he has a lovely accent.
Well, thank you.
Filler.
Okay, Mateo, I think we're good here.
Cool.
Thank you.
All these maps, like clearly. Oh God, we're in the Matrix.
Wow.
we were in Inception.
I tried to be quick.
No, it was cool.
You do your
Wow.
best.
Yeah, clearly a lot of time and a lot of work and effort has gone into you guys crafting this world. So when you pitched it to me, you were like, yeah, it's kind of like a magical industrial revolution type setting. And I was like, I'm already in. When do we start? It was just, it checks a lot of boxes for me. And to be able to get to play like a sky pirate, I was like, all right, well, I'm already joined. I'm already rolling dice. I don't know what they are for, but I'm so in.
and you just heard the word salad I just vomited up. I know a lot about this world, but I do not know how to communicate it effectively to an audience, so please bear with me.
I think you did.
I think experience it shows it, especially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we've all.
Not
there's so
knowing
many
is part of the
aspects.
journey.
That's true, and
There's
that's
so many aspects of this world that we're never going to see in this session or 10 sessions hence that will become relevant only then. So
Yeah.
it's not necessary to really know all that stuff. Just know we're in the city of Coedwin,
Yeah.
the industrial heart of this country.
which is like fantasy and magical industrial London, basically. And yeah, part of the reason why I wanted to play a character who was not from there is so that I, as the player, it was okay not knowing things. And so my character, who you'll see, doesn't know shit about this place. He stands out like a sore thumb. Like, he does not blend in. He doesn't know what's going on. And hilarity tends to ensue there. So where does the start of our adventure pre-stream, which, don't worry guys, like, this is this would be our like what, 5th session total?
This is our seventh session.
7th session. Okay, so we're getting pretty into it, but you haven't missed a whole lot.
Double digits.
Almost double digits.
We've had sessions that are self-indulgent for our own roleplay, so some of it is literally like, well, we
Yeah.
hang out for 2 hours.
Yeah, literally, there were times
There was
where
one session.
no
The
combat
we
happened.
spent the first hour just trying to move a fucking like item in a room that was heavy.
That's true.
What?
The
cone.
focusing cone. You guys were trying to move that.
Code, yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my god, yeah. That was wild.
Well,
Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Yeah.
Exactly,
Let's
yeah.
go back to the beginning where it all started. So, this all sort of gets kicked off with Mad Dog, Mateo's character, the Ard, working in one of those factories, also known as a casting mill, where they cast all day. And while he was working there, our good friend Oliver was doing his studies, and during his studies, studying magic and the science of magic, he was given sort of this project that, like, hey, if you want to learn how this stuff works in the real world and real applications of magic, then this is the place to do it. And so they sent him here, and of course he had his own projects in mind himself, his own little side projects. And because of that, well, he found a friendly Ard to get some sap on the down low. That would be Mad Dog. And so the two, the Mad Dog dealt him these, essentially this highly illegal illicit substance. And it was fine for a while until they were caught by the really pathetic and like rude little man. What was his name?
Foltz.
Ah.
Foltz. I forgot.
Yeah,
his first
Mr.
name.
Foltz.
Mr.
Ambrose
Foltz.
Foltz. It was all his fault.
Yeah.
And he was like the
All his
manager
fault.
of this. He was the manager of this factory, this casting mill, and he caught them doing this, and he was like, "What the fuck?" And so immediately, Oliver, he was burned. He showed up the next day, and basically he wasn't allowed in the factory. And he found his workshop at his university totally ransacked. And what did the note say, Leon? There was a note posted in your workshop.
Yes, the note said that I had to. Oliver had to stop whatever he was researching, and he had. I forgot how many days. I think it was
Like
3
5 days.
Yeah, 5 days to pay Martel, like the head of the Martel Magic's corporation. Like 1,000 Barnaca dollars, which is
The
like,
equivalent of like $10,000.
Yeah, exactly. Mind you, Oliver is a student, so
And a broke student at
loaded.
that.
Yeah, he was also orphaned up until
Right.
he went into university. So, yeah, he's not going to be able to pay it, nor does he want to.
Yeah, and so he immediately went to the university to talk to his professor, like, hey, what the fuck is going on? And his professor wasn't there. And when he asked some of the other professors where he was, they were like, he said he went on sabbatical in the middle of the semester. Like, that motherfucker is not on sabbatical. And that is where we met Sean and Mad Dog, because Mad Dog was fired from the factory.
Yeah.
And it seemed like the police were on his ass. So he went to find this little scoundrel that got him fired. He knew he was going to Sedgwick, so he went there and he was like, hey, I'm going to beat this asshole up. And he gets there and he sees him, and they're sort of slinking away from the college. They get on a train to go and find the professor's wife, and they're getting to know each other. And
Oh.
meanwhile, they're with this asshole from the university, Gilbert Vandenbrug, who is just the most stuffy fucking guy. And he's like, "This is all your fault. How could you have done this to us?" And
I got to
Yeah.
abuse the grappling mechanics.
Oh,
Yeah,
do you guys want to take it from there? I don't want to talk. I don't want to say everything.
Absolutely. Well, I dragged Sean along because she can't help but the good side of her always wants to see me safe through all these things, and I wind up dragging her through the mud with that. But she was on her own. You were doing your own illicit affairs too. You took a one branch.
Yeah. I often supply one branches to like any retaliatory
Yeah.
like revolutionary group. So
ooh,
So she was.
I-
Yeah.
this is
that live.
Little revolutionary.
Mhm.
yeah, and I like I'll teach other arts, like how to use them and things like that. So just
So I ruined her whole thing because I wind up dragging
basically.
her along. From her perfectly good plan because of my half-baked plan to give sap to people, which is, if a Sean was doing it, she could probably get away with it. But
Not so much with Mad Dog.
But Mad Dog, not
we
known
wind
for
up-
his subtlety.
So we spent that whole session 0 really before you guys came playing Master of Disguise, and I refused to play along and constantly made a ruckus.
Because they were at this massive, like, fancy estate
Yes.
and trying to blend in, and they could do nothing but stick out.
Yeah. So that was when we first caught the stalker. It was that bio mutant engineered like police dog of the state.
Right.
We didn't know he
Right.
was a stalker then, but he was on our tail, and we all kind of knew, but I was too arrogant at that point to give a shit. So yeah, I dragged us all along through the mud on that one. But Oliver, you actually pulled me in. You had a motivating tale about what your endeavors were. That had me and Sean both hook, line, and sinker because of our revolutionary histories.
Mm.
Yeah, Oliver, as mentioned before, like he was orphaned. Well, his mother died at birth, and then he ended up being an orphan at like double digits.
Pretty
So
young.
we'll say like 10 years old. Yeah, pretty young. And that really resonated with him. That like how his father died, that he decided to pursue research in a specific endeavor that I'm pretty sure everyone in the party now knows,
Mhm.
which is basically finding a cure or some way to circumnavigate the overuse of golden sap to help promote these factories. Now, out of character, do I know how I'm going to do this? No clue. But it's
But is
an
he gonna
idea.
try? God damn, he is.
It's
Can't
the
stop.
Walking Dead guy. It was the Walking Dead guy when he brings the guy. He's like, I have a cure for the zombie virus.
Eugene.
Oh yeah, Eugene.
Yeah. We're right now all the ginger-haired guy following you to the ends of
Abe.
the earth.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
So-
But,
So what
I
did you
was
guys find out at? Oh yeah, go ahead.
well, I was going to add like another thing that I probably should have mentioned in Oliver's bio is that to get into Sedgwick, especially from someone from like a lower class, he needed some sort of a sponsor, just be able to sponsor him to attend, which was this professor that everyone's been referencing, Arston Cargyle. He's a very instrumental individual in the realm of this magic researching, and he got a hold of Oliver when he was young, and Oliver looks up to him. Oliver at the university or at the college himself portrayed himself as very of that class, of a higher class. And up until recently, it was revealed that Oliver was actually a slumdog like the rest of everyone else.
Yeah. Well,
Shocked me so hard.
our call to action has been centered around Oliver's journey, and so we realized that we were in over our heads because your professor sponsor, what's his name again?
Arston
You call-
Cargyle.
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 Yeah.
So Cargyle, we believe, is in Karaharat.
Mm.
The fortress mega prison of Coidwin. It's like we like all of us have been given, and of course I know, but we all have been given the airs that it is a dangerous place to go to. The orphan
I was gonna say.
himself, the reason why he's so punished is in this image that we have of him is because he had went there as a scout for us because we paid for him through our adventures and we stumbled along cross with him. He has taken those injuries, so we realized we needed more guns on hand. Like we couldn't do this alone, and so that's when we stumbled across these two super fucking rad dudes over here.
Mhm.
Which is a great segue for
Great
you guys
segue.
to maybe start talking about
Yes,
where you
yes.
guys have been this whole time.
Sure.
Uh,
Why don't you go?
yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, sure. So, like the end of my bio, I'm as Ven. Most of what I do is just kind of trying to survive, pickpocketing. And one day I came across someone new in my part of the city, with jewel tone robes and some very expensive looking gear. So I may have helped myself, tried to liberate the items from this
From his
person's
person.
person. That did not work. They caught me, and okay, it would be Captain Talindi I'm talking about if you guys don't know yet. Yeah, I tried to rob Captain Talindi, and he caught me, and probably could have easily killed me, even though I don't think Ben would admit to that. It's true. But instead, he hired me for a job, and then we've just kind of been orbiting near and around each other ever since then. But Andrew, if there's anything else you want to add.
Yeah, I would say from Tajak's perspective, he's a total stranger in this land, and I think saw an opportunity in Ven to be like, okay, this kid he knows his way around the city. He can probably get information well. He's clearly pretty good at stealing. He did he did get caught. Like Tajak did catch him, and rather than bringing an end to him as he may have probably wanted to, as somebody who doesn't really like loose ends, he was like, I think, kind of saw him as more of an asset, and I think at this point was when I think both of us went to the Whirly gig, which was a saloon where.
Well, before that, you were at. So this was a different pub, which was only in one scene, which was
right.
You guys were and I think there was some confusion at the time, like in real life, as to what exactly was happening. I'm going to give the my version of events, which
please.
was that Ven heard through some talk that there was some boat that was coming into port that was going to be have a shit ton of really expensive stuff on it, and also be really easy to steal from. So Ven headed to this pub that supposedly a bunch of sailors hung at, and they went there, and they were waiting until it was time. And while they were waiting there, our friends also heard the scuttlebutt. Our other friends on the other side of the city heard the scuttlebutt about something, and they had decided to go check it out. And they ran into each other in this pub, and and the reason why is because they needed to get some money, and they thought this could be good, I guess. This is actually like my meta way of getting everybody together, just so you know.
Yeah, it was our very own meet in a tavern.
Yeah.
Literally. And so they heard about this boat. They went on said boat and found that there were a bunch of those monsters from Barnica, the plant monsters, the Jags, on the boat. That it was a pretty messed up situation. It seemed like the captain had some sort of weird pheromonal relationship with the queen host of them.
Right.
Oh my
But
God.
they did battle, and eventually
Boy, did we.
they killed the captain, got all the Jag, and you pilfered the ship. But because some of us had fire spells and used them in a giant wooden ship, fire quickly spread, and the ship started burning down in port. And
Oh my
so they had to
God.
hightail it out of there before they could get any more goods. But before they did, they managed to cut up the Jag, because, as I said before, it's papery it's plant fiber skin can be cut out and sort of rolled out into sheets, which can be dried and turned into either tobacco or coffee.
This was when I got what do you say, like the light started really shining for me. I was like, oh, this is gonna start the drug dealer arc.
And so they
And
now the
did.
other thing is that during their adventures, the other Mad Dog, Sean, and Oliver, they ended up they basically were hiding from the government, and they went into this part of town where lots of people can go to hide because it's kind of like Kowloon walled city.
Yeah.
Like no one's finding anything. It's this massive, dense part of town, and they sort of lived their lives in this pub called the Whirligig. And while they were there, they met some of the union people who they ended up becoming quite good friends with. And those union people were like, hey, we got a job for you. And that's how they heard about the boat thing, because they said, hey, we could use some funds because we're going to start this riot, or not a riot, a strike. They're going to do a strike, and they need strike funds. And so that's why they helped them out and got them some, or what was supposed to be money, but ended up being Jag, which they could sell. Although I think
a pretty good
we did also get
situation.
gold.
Yeah, we had
And
the
food,
gold.
too.
We had the Jag. We were filled to the brims with inventory.
Yeah.
And we had too much of a good thing, and it was becoming obvious. We were continuing our gangster plot. We met the Dunlum dogs, right? The
Right.
Dunham
Yep, the-
dogs.
Dunlum dogs, these gangsters.
And that's where we met the other little kid. We were having a good
Mickey
romp.
McGuire.
Mickey McGuire. We were having such a good romp.
Mikey McGuire.
Mikey.
Mikey.
It was-
Mikey McGuire.
It was at that point that it felt like the calm before the storm, because we were heading back to the Whirligig after having done a few sessions worth of good adventures that kind of stacked us up with contacts, different kind of people that we can coordinate with. And then the Whirligig was on fire.
Right.
And it
With
was
all of
so
our stuff
sad.
in it.
Yeah, all the Jag, all of
tragic.
like Oliver's notebook. In fact, there was
Well-
they robbed one of the casting mills, and they stole some equipment to basically make their own crystals.
Yeah, I was
where
gonna
they
say-
can basically have
Oh.
We skipped over the whole stealing the focus cone and the riots and the union against the guards.
They led a riot with all these unionists who were striking outside of a casting mill, and they ended up going in, throwing out the overseers, and killing the main dude, who was Ambrose Fault, the guy who was working with Leon at the beginning,
Mhm.
He
that
had
was
it
working with
coming.
Oliver. Yeah,
I
they
don't
ended
know
up
if he- I don't
killing
know if
him.
he deserved to
That's
die
what
the
I
way
like
he
to
died
hear.
right there. But
The way he did was a little gruesome.
Oh, hell yeah.
Having fun with it.
I did. I basically made him into the guy from Batman Forever when Jim Carrey ties him to a chair and throws him out the window. There was these big spotlights, and I put one of my crystals from the gun, which was like a laser crystal, into his mouth, and then threw him into the light, which then electrified him, and the electrical charge, as Kieran had explained, sets off the charge. So it turned his head into like frickin' just laser beam that just shot up like a beacon, and then his like smoking dead body fell down, and everyone cheered. And
Our actions were not without consequences, though.
This
you
is
know?
true.
Yeah, that's very true.
So
Not wrong.
at the beginning of our last session, they were hightailing it from the burnt-out Whirligig to the other side of town, where Oliver had a little surprise waiting for everybody.
Mhm.
It's gonna be their new base of operations, I suppose. And while en route, they saw.
Wait, what about a werewolf guy and like
Oh,
the fire, like the
werewolf
battle
guy.
there?
Oh my god! Well,
There's, damn, we did a lot.
we did.
yeah,
We
there's
did. Oh my
a
gosh,
lot
I'm
of shit
losing
up. This is
track.
gonna be very confusing for any listeners.
Yeah, that's I think the broad strokes of it is that
Yeah.
we like did make it to this camp, this place, and this is the really heart of it. You know, we met a fucking a dream walker, the what do we call him? Sandman.
Yeah.
Damir.
Shay
It was
Gorath.
Yeah.
Dream Walker, I thought, or Shade.
He
It
was
goes by many names.
and so, you know, we have the orphan along with us because he did survive after Care Herod, and he has been a good asset to us. And
And
he
he-
was with us.
We hired him to go, or you guys hired him to go see if he could break out Oliver's professor, but he came back scarred half to hell, missing an eye, and he has the ability through this totem that he makes out with to walk through walls, basically.
Freaked out with.
Which will become useful later.
Yes.
When we oh my god.
So he's kind of
Oh,
a
wow.
mercenary. He came with us to this, to Oliver's warehouse to be like, okay, here's where we're gonna, we lost most of our jag in the fire after that retaliatory attack, and then we escaped to this warehouse where there was an old man in loose, shabby robes taking residence in Oliver's warehouse, which he did not take very kindly to. So what happened then?
That man sent us on a trip.
Oh wait, the little girl.
Oh Jesus!
Right.
That's another.
There's
element.
That's important.
So many things.
That is
The
important.
girl in this picture next to our punished orphan. So she is this girl who. So the orphan, he goes by the name the orphan for reasons unknown. Well, actually, he revealed it last time.
Yeah.
He goes by the orphan because he was one of these Aenorian guardsmen, and the Aenorian guard, remember, they go out to the continent to kill all the thralls and save the world, supposedly, and he was one of these, and the people that sort of run these squads of people, this army of Aenorian guardsmen, are they're called the Keepers of Light. They're the ones who use their light magic to kill help kill the thralls, and they're basically like magic warrior priests. The orphan's keeper went berserk basically in this village, and he kind of killed everybody. And the orphan didn't take too kindly to that, and he killed him dead. And then there was just this little girl left there, and he took her with him because he was like, well, she's not got a village left anymore, so I guess I'll take her on my shoulders. And she's been with him ever since. And it was revealed last session that she has these crazy psionic powers that allow her to do like telekinesis and all sorts of shit. And we don't really know most of it, to be honest.
Thank God she's got them, because
It was handy in a pinch.
Yeah, because
handy.
before oh my god.
Oh,
Before we
We'll get there.
what happened at the end of last session, because now we're getting up to the present time. As we were en route to Oliver's workshop, his warehouse, you guys saw do you guys remember what you saw in the sky?
Jeremy.
Oh yeah.
Before Jeremy.
Jeremy.
Before Jeremy.
There was
There
a
was a
huge
giant-
dirigible with spotlights, like trying to combing the city.
yes. It almost felt like a cop surveillance, like trying to find someone potentially.
It was.
We were convinced it was for us because we've had that stalker on our trail since the fire at the Whirligig.
Right, and he got away and was like, Martell's always watching.
Yeah, so we are all like looking behind our shoulders every step we take.
Yep.
And we came to this place anyway because we had no real options.
And
so, yeah.
So what was basically revealed was that the casting mill, the factory where they liberated, the airship was almost definitely going towards that factory, and there was a shit ton of police and soldiers that were marching up the street. Seems like they were heading there.
Might have kicked off a fun uprising, like mini revolt.
Yeah. With the
and
do you want to talk about like that specific sect of guards, like with the hammers?
oh,
Like,
well, so
They're not just
Martell-
cops. They're like
Well, so what you're talking about with the hammers is so Martell's goons, basically his people who run the factory. The what do you call them? The
enforcers
foremen,
or
the
something.
foremen of his factories.
Yeah.
Are so Martell is French for hammer, and Martell really likes to go. He really likes to go for metaphors, I guess, very literally. And so he has his foreman basically carry around sledgehammers that they use to intimidate the workers so that they don't try anything funny. They call them the hammer bros or hammer dudes. I don't remember.
I think that's the Mario enemy.
Hammer Bros.
The hammer bros. They're basically Martell's overseers.
Yeah.
So the police force, however, they're just kind of your normal fare.
Well, the orphan was coming to this point in Falham specifically for the Gyri girl. We didn't know this at this point, but he was worried about danger in Falham because of his pendant that like beeps with danger. And so when he rescued her from something, Tajik, I know you saw. What does he call him, Jeremy?
Right. Yeah. So we kind of got separated. So it was Tajik and the orphan were fighting basically an invisible tentacle creature that was attached to the girl, and we killed it. And that's when he divulged to Tajik what was, like their backstory and stuff. So then we regrouped, and then I think
we all had a heart-to-heart after our encounter with Daniel.
After your little trippy psychedelic experience.
Yeah, so we should probably talk about the trippy experience and then the reveal, and then that leads up to where we find ourselves today. So there was this old man, right, who just looked kind of like a beggar, but he had taken up residence in Oliver's shop. And when we confronted him, he seemed to kind of defy all laws of gravity and physics, and he was just very strange. And he was sitting around this campfire, and then anyone who touched him kind of was put into a trance state. And eventually we all got tranced, and then we basically it became what I imagine only as like a Tool music video, where it was like super psychedelic and trippy, and we were like mind melding basically. And there was a really cool Kieran, like I really like the way that you played that out for us. Like you kind of had everybody like share a feeling that everyone else was feeling from you.
Ooh,
And
I love
that scene was really
you
cool.
You guys had this moment where all your emotions momentarily were melding in each other's minds, and you were getting a sense of each other. Nothing too concrete, but just a sense.
Yeah, feelings
of everyone else's subconscious.
A really cool way to like get to know each other without having to like directly, role play. So
you guys are so like stingy with your backstory and your secrets, like as characters with each other.
Right.
So there's so much that you guys don't know about each other for like so many things.
Yeah.
And this was my way of being like, all right, you can reveal some things.
Which is
That's
funny.
true. I wanted to give tiny bites.
Because Kieran, you really wanted us to do that, and Sean had a clever idea after doing a look-see over with their character sheet, seeing that they had sense thought. And since we were already in the headspace of like, well, since we're reading people's thoughts,
yeah.
Sean, can you tell us what you decided to do with our help?
Well, this was after the old man.
Oh, what do you mean our help?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Well,
so
Ben.
at the end of the psychedelic experience, the old man disappeared, and it was revealed that, in fact, he was never there at all, and that the little fire he had built in their workshop was long gone, long burnt out. And there were cobwebs, and it was basically revealed that they were all seeing things. Which of course they were, because they were just having this trippy psychedelic experience. But then they basically just got to work cleaning up this workshop, which Oliver made as a kid, basically.
Right.
Yeah,
And,
so then Sean.
For a moment. I was going to say, for a moment we were good, and we were
very
doing everything
peaceful.
to prep, but I guess we got a little too nosy. Me, Sean, and Ven kind of got together to conspire. And
Right, because the feeling.
We were worried about the captain.
Right, because the feeling that Tajik had exuded, I guess, that they all noticed when our minds and psyche were melding, is the feeling of guilt and shame and a terrible secret, something that he had to not let out, basically. And then Melissa, what did Sean do then?
I basically the orphan and Tajak captain are like just by the girl.
They were chilling in front of the bed with the girl, right?
Right.
Yes.
And they're kind of talking between each other. I'm kind of like.
And meanwhile, the girl is sitting in the bed. She's like unconscious this whole time.
Right.
And I had mentioned before how like seeing the girl like this, it was kind of like an emotional thing for Sean, just because of like her past and everything. So I didn't think it was unusual that I would come up to check on her But in that moment, I was also using Sean's sense thought to try to get an idea of what Tajak had been hiding.
Try and pry into his mind without his consent.
Yeah.
Time
Worded
and place,
otherwise.
Ron. Time and place. Not like we were
I still support
on.
you. I support it then and now. I'm making it problematic.
And while Sean was doing this, you know, the sense thought ability, the person who's being targeted feels like their mind is being like pressed on. You feel like something is going on, and you're like, "What the fuck?" And so Tajak very quickly realized something was up.
Yeah. And if not for any other reason than as he explained, like, some things are better off not knowing, not coming to light for everyone's protection, maybe, and was really also hurt by, like, at this point, like, we're 7 sessions in, but like we are all still, like Kieran said, pretty like guarded of ourselves. Like, we're not all just gonna be like, all right, we're best friends now. So like it got kind of tense, and Tajak was like, what the fuck did you do in my head? And you know, Oliver backed him up and was like, that's kind of like crossing a line.
Oliver was neutral. It was the orphan who was backing you up.
Oh,
No,
okay.
I did say,
that's true.
Oliver did say, oh, that's a little like, that is like
That's a little
invading
messed up.
privacy.
Yeah.
But then he went back to his corner.
So we all, yeah, then he was like, now I'm gonna run
Worried
away.
about the captain. That's not an excuse, I know.
So the crew kind of split into 2 factions at this point.
Yeah.
with the orphan and
yeah.
Tajik, and everyone else on the other side.
Well,
and
And
Oliver
three
is
factions.
neutral.
3 factions. Yeah, I was gonna say 3 factions.
Yeah.
We got
Switzerland
Switzerland
over.
over there. Switzerland.
So at this point, Tajak has drawn his autocaster pistol on Sean and is like, what did you learn? What are you doing in my head? That kind of spirals everybody else to be like, hey, what the fuck? Like, chill. Then I think...
Yeah, the orphan
So-
decided to take it personal for you.
yeah. Oh, but then
Yeah, things got heated.
things got
The
heated.
orphan kind of came up, and he was like, what? How exactly did this transpire?
As I recall, Ven
Yeah.
kind of came and tried to like tackle Captain Tajak. I rolled well enough to kind of be able to throw him to the ground. So Ven is like prone right now. Tajak is
Oh no! Before that,
all of
Before-
that. Yeah, I remember. I
A
remember.
lot happened because Madog was fighting with the orphan, right?
had-
not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
somebody.
The orphan,
The orphan,
was like,
I think.
Sean, that is a violation of our privacy, and he tried to throw you out. But then Madog, you erected a stone wall between them, and the orphan said, "Fuck that!" He punched right through it.
Yes!
and he took
Very
Sean
easily.
and he threw her through the door.
Yes.
She tried to
He's
go
like, "You're
invisible.
not-
too. She tried
not
to go
reading-
invisible and forgot the
She tried to go
orphan could go
invisible.
invisible too.
Yeah.
So Orphan sort of went invisible, found her, threw her outside, and then went back in. And by this point, Ven had come in with a vengeance and was fighting the captain.
Yeah.
And I was worried that he was going to retaliate
Sure
harshly
was.
in Sean, so I used my leverage against the orphan.
Yes.
And I may
threaten the
have
child.
pointed my poisonous fingers on the child because that is one of the spells I have. I didn't know how else to get his attention away from Sean.
Yeah.
And
So he puts his sticky poison fingers in her mouth like he's about to fucking kill her, like a
Yeah.
psychopath.
Oh
And the orphan
gosh.
comes in, and he's like, "No fucking way!" And so he runs up to Mad Dog, and Mad Dog's like, "Now hold on, let's all just take it easy."
I made.
That Madog impression gave me life.
Yeah. Oh, and like the orphan is
Yeah.
basically, you described him to us as basically like his sword is like Guts from Berserk. So he's got like a big ass slab of metal as a sword.
Well, it's not the size of his sword; it's the roughness of it.
Okay.
So
How you
imagine
use it.
his sword just exactly. Imagine his sword just incredibly rough because it's so the Anorian Guard, they wear armor made of the skin of the demons that they kill. Because
Yeah.
it's the toughest material in the world. They're thralls. The material is thrall stone. And so he has armor made of that because he was an Anorian Guardsman, and he has a sword made of that. And yeah, and so he came up to Madog, who was threatening his beloved little girl, and Madog was like, he realized he was in a little bit of heavy shit, and so he was about to do like an armor spell to protect himself from this big heavy sword.
Yep.
And as he held his arms up, the orphan went swinging with his greatsword and hacked one of his arms off,
Yup.
like right here, clean off,
Yeah.
sent him to the floor.
It should mention
And
it's
it
the
was-
first time somebody seriously got hurt.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, because you guys, I've been throwing just weak, noodly armed enemies at you guys this whole time, and it's been no problem. So this is
Oh,
the
I know
first
what
time
you're
that an
talking
enemy.
about.
I was gonna say Oliver has
Said,
been
y'all need trouble.
I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Oliver's gotten
Did
his
mess
shit
you up.
rocked a few times.
Bro, no, the first session when you guys went to the bar where you met the orphan and Leon, I forgot about this. Leon, he tried to. I don't even remember what you tried to do. All I remember is your
I tried to
face getting
punch the
smashed
rat.
into the table.
I tried to
Oh
do,
my
like,
God.
something, but I ended up smashing my face.
He did like a crit fail for like trying to like flip the table or something like that.
Oh yeah, he just smacked his face down into it.
What?
And then so there was this dude that they were trying to find this whole time, and Leon
Baldric.
really wanted to. Yeah, Baldric. Leon wanted to give him a bloody nose, and he failed about 3 or 4 times before. And here's another thing you can use a Benny for: you can use it to reroll an attack. And so he failed about three times before he finally landed a hit and gave him a bloody nose.
Pretty cool.
Nice.
He did it
That
in the
was like 5 sessions ago.
So yeah, combat usually goes pretty well for us. We're
Yeah.
strong dudes. So I have been like my whole world has been rocked. Personally, me, Mateo, not Mad Dog. I
Yeah.
Get hurt that bad.
Missing an arm on the floor, and so in the midst of all this chaos, the little girl who this whole time has been sort of comatose in the bed rises up with like sparks and arcane blue energy around her, and she telepathically shouted in everyone's heads, "Enough!" And everyone was like frozen in the air telepathically. And then after a second, she fell back to the bed, and everyone was released, and that's where we left off.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cliffhanger.
Did you get all that? Did you get all that?
Yeah.
I hope you're taking notes.
Go
It's gonna be a
back
quiz.
and just start the video over. I know we're only an hour and a half in, and just as a recap of the recap. No, I'm kidding.
It's,
Yeah.
awesome. It's an awesome session 0 recap. I mean, people are
Yeah.
gonna know.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, people are going to be very confused. I didn't realize just how much like you need to know the lore to understand anything that's going on. I was
Oh, I
like
didn't
every 5
either.
seconds, I was like, "Oh, that. So that's this thing." And if you want to know what it is, it's kind of this. They're like,
It's true. It's true.
World
But
building.
like I always said, like not knowing it is part of the fun. Like you've surprised me with certain things that I didn't expect you to put in. I'm like, oh, I'm here for the ride of like whatever you're ready to throw. Into
Yeah.
this.
And I mean, and us as players who are unfamiliar with this story, like you've been very kind to be like, there's a lot of asides that I'm like, okay, so now in this world, would this character know about this, or like would with his history in Barnica, would he know about so like he knows some things about the orphan and the thralls, and anything that we don't know. You guys, having crafted this world since high school, you're a fount of information. So don't think that we're like completely lost. And if we do get lost on something, you're very accommodating and explaining things for us. So I think the
appreciate
audience
that.
will also benefit from that as well.
And I think you guys, having lived in this world for many hours at this point, sort of have a feel for it. For anyone who's just coming in, I'm sure their heads are spinning right now, but that's okay. Just spend some time in the world and you'll get a feel for it.
Yeah, if anything's
Fantasy,
unclear,
magic, steampunk.
yeah,
You got
basically,
it.
yeah. It's fantasy England where we are right now. There's a magical industrial revolution, kind of steampunky, kind of gritty, rivets and magic. And if anyone has a question, drop it in the chat, and we can, if we have a sec, I can petition Kiernan's help. So
Yes.
yeah, so that is all of that is what happened off stream. All of this happened. We were like, oh my god, people need to hear this story. Oh, and also we want to memorialize it forever. So we're like, we have to record
No.
this.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
I know I'll rewatch this.
now we're here.
Yeah, totally. Well,
Holy shit.
that takes us all the way to the present.
Yeah,
Does anyone need a bathroom break right about now?
that's probably a good
I
time.
definitely
I'm
do.
good.
Yeah, I do too.
Lisa? Okay, no
I
problem.
do.
I do as
Let's,
well. Do we want to say
take
just
5?
5?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
I,
if you need more than
I've got a 10-minute timer and a 5-minute timer. It's up to you guys.
5 is good enough for me.
Okay, that
Yeah,
sounds
fine
good.
works.
All right,
Cool.
we shall
I'll see you back.
be back in 5. Don't go anywhere. All right. We are back, and just in time, I believe Mateo had a fun fact for us. Where is my girlfriend?
I am having the same issue. That's so funny.
There she is.
Fun fact:
me
we have two
and
couples in the
Karen,
party.
That's
we're
true.
going to NYC Comic Con.
Oh, sick.
In October, and we were just talking about how Kieran would have to do some ASMR speaking into the mic. It sounded a little bit like Metal Solid Snake.
Metal Gear.
We're gonna see David Hayter
Yeah.
at Comic-Con on that day.
Yo,
So,
Nice.
let me show you something real quick. I just showed this on stream the other day, but
oh my god, I'm on the stream now. I'm looking at that stream.
I've got. Oh right, I
Yeah,
forgot
me
you
too.
can't see me
I've-
unless you're on the stream.
I've been watching.
I've got.
Oh yeah, let's look
here
at the stream.
my copy of Metal Gear Solid.
Let's go.
Not only that,
That's sick.
signed by David Hayter on the Snake side,
Oh my god.
Holy
and
shit, man.
on the other side, disc 2, when you take the disc out, this side is signed by Cam Clark for Liquid Snake.
Man.
That was so sick.
Hello, brother.
Oh,
I got to meet both of them, and they signed my.
All right,
My
you
copy.
guys keep talking about this real quick. I gotta go see my mom.
yeah, I'm excited
My mom.
for that. There's so many cool actors that are going to be there. There's actually a few Metal Gear Solid voice actors that are going to be
That's sick. I guarantee you, when you're done talking to David Hayter, he's gonna lean in and go, "Hey, you're pretty good." Just mark my words. I promise you. Next session when we come back, I'm gonna ask you about that.
I know, right? Next session in October.
You're pretty good.
I'm gonna try and remember to go up to him and go like, "Kept you waiting, huh?"
Yeah,
I have to do it.
Of
I have to
course.
do it, 'cause
I would have got like I didn't because it would have been so obnoxious, but I just wanted to like bust into wherever he was and go, "Hello, brother," and I want him to just go, "Liquid," which I say
I really would.
every single time I hear the word liquid, like in any context, people be talking about like playing this, and like Kieran would be like, "Oh yeah, so like there's around Oliver's workshop, there's a bunch of bottles of an unknown liquid."
Oh my god.
We got to pad
I love
out
Metal Gear.
for anyone who's just tuning in. We got to pad out some time for our good GM to come back. But we have just recapped the story so far. So this is basically session 0 through 7 recapped. And now,
That's why there's so much shit. It's like we did a lot.
yeah, seriously.
If each session was 4 hours, that's like 28 hours of gameplay there.
Yeah.
Recap.
That's like the entirety of like that's how long it took me to beat Chrono Trigger. Like, which I just
imagine all of Chrono Trigger.
all of Chrono Trigger just happened, especially the part where somebody turns into a frog. No, but that would be cool. But yeah, I think we are about to actually begin our official session. I guess this is 8.
This is
Of-
session 7.
This is 7. Lucky number 7. What a good one to start on. We have been talking about, and we'll throw this to the chat if anyone wants to weigh in, either now or maybe at the end when you get a better sense of this whole story. We're trying to come up with a name for this, and we have some ideas we're kicking around, but we're thinking maybe for our next session we'll officially have decided on it. So if anyone has a cool input on an idea with the themes of magical industrial revolution and uprising against tyranny and inequality, again, nothing like we're currently going through in our life right now.
Quite literally.
And this is definitely not a way for us to cope with our home country spiraling into fascism. But yeah, drop some gems in the chat, and if it's anything is cool enough, we may actually name this whole campaign after your idea. But yeah,
We can't promise a big check with your name on it.
yeah, for sure.
We can say thank you.
Yeah.
I was imagining like in the newspaper how they have like those massive checks, but
Yeah, the big like
They're just in the
Publishers
driveway,
Clearinghouse.
Wow.
It's like a $5 check, but it's one of those big ass like giveaway checks.
paperboard is worth more than the dollar amount.
Yeah, seriously.
So, right? I know we are so eager to get back into what we left off with last time,
Yes.
but what we are going to start with instead is
Ooh.
Mateo. Are you able to open up that document that I sent you and share it on the
Right.
stream.
On Instagram?
I'll send it to you on Discord.
Off
On
stream,
Discord.
Kieran was like, "I'm sending you something, but don't open it."
I have a lot of
Very low-key.
self-restraint.
He's
let me
been
tell
sitting
you.
on Pandora's box, and now we are about to see what it finally is.
Yo.
exciting.
Am
Mateo, open it up
I-
and just look at the first page. Everyone look at the stream, please.
It just says you die.
Okay. Let me move the
Can you zoom
stream
in?
down to this. Can you see it? Wait, can you see it?
I can see that you have it pulled up, but you may need to zoom in
Zoom in like crazy.
quite a bit.
Okay. Oh, hold on. I have to do something
I
here to
see.
make sure it transfers to that. Oh my god, you guys can see it. Okay, you can see it. Jesus. Okay.
Yes.
Sorry,
I didn't mean to make us start on something with that might be a technical
Oh
difficulty.
shit!
No, it's okay.
How's that?
Okay, that's great. So everybody, please
Wow.
observe your roles.
Oh, dramatis person.
Okay.
So,
What?
This is a little intro scene that I've cooked up. We're gonna do a dramatic reading.
Oh, hell
Ooh.
yeah.
How exciting!
We have these characters, many of whom we know, some of whom we don't, and I'll be reading all of the stage directions.
Okay. Is
So,
is
does
there
everyone
somewhere
know their role?
in our Discord? Is this in our Discord that I can pull up on my phone so I can read from?
Yeah, if you guys just want to look at it, I'll put it in the chat right here.
Okay. Ooh.
I put it in the in-game chat.
fun.
Please don't look past where we're at currently.
Okay, let me make sure that I can get into that without kicking myself out of the in-game
Okay.
stream. Okay, I can do it without actually activating. Okay.
All
Cool,
right.
cool, cool,
So
cool,
Mateo
cool.
has this up just for the audience to see, but also for
Yes.
him and Melissa. All right, Mateo, please scroll down to scene 1.
Okay.
I'll read the stage directions, and you guys go ahead and read your lines.
Nice.
Scene 1. Internal dining room. Martel's estate. Evening. A long dining table is flush with the richest of Yorley, Aenor, and the Wireveld. Men in silk costumes smoke jag from trumpets, while their women cling to them, bejeweled with Argirian glass and fur coats. Rhys Cargyle, a Yorlian who owns a large crystal mining company, raises a glass to Robert Martel, the enormous man at the head of the table.
Attention, please. Your attention. I propose a toast to the man who's made this all possible and who, might I add, has been terribly quiet this evening. Our good friend and benefactor, Robert Martel.
The men and women clap.
I dare say you verge on genius, good man. The good light has truly blessed us all, though I do so wish I could at least get a smile out of you.
Martel takes a long drag on his cigar.
From myself and my family, from all of the good people gathered here today, we would like to wish you a very happy birthday and continued success in our mutual business ventures.
The crowd chants,
Here, here.
and takes a drink. Martel doesn't. After a silence, with the crowd's eyes gathered on him in anticipation, he stands.
My friends, our great work is nearly complete. The greatest minds of sorcery have produced a near-functional prototype of a device which will revolutionize our mode of magical production. When this is unveiled, the world will stand aghast at our power. All will tremble before the might of our armies, unburdened by the limits of nature. I thank you for supporting me thus far, and your troubles will be rewarded very soon.
Martel nearly collapses before catching himself on the table. His attendant, the stalker, rushes in to help him back to his feet. Martel.
Very soon.
The crowd is silent. Cargyle raises his glass.
1,000 blessings of the light! Vivat Martellus!
The crowd joins him in cheering, "Long live Martel." Scene 2. Mateo, if you could scroll. Later that night. Martel looks out a long window at the city below. The stalker lights another cigar for him. The stalker lights another cigar for the man as he adjusts some dials on a strange machine. Tubes protrude from it and feed into Martel's neck. It clicks and wheezes like a clockwork lung. The table has been cleared of dishes and people, except for one. Alessia, a beautiful young woman, thin and pale, who sits at the far end of the table. She gazes at the chandelier above as its many crystals wink in the candlelight.
I grow tired of these extravagant displays, Father.
Smoke.
You grow tired of responsibility. There will come a day, not many years from now, that you will inherit all of this. All that I and my fathers before me have worked so hard to build.
Of course, Father.
You are intelligent, my dear, but you are a woman. These animals will eat you alive if you haven't your wits about you. And how woefully ignorant you still are to the ways of this world. If only you could comprehend what's been set in motion.
He turns to face her.
Do you know what day it is today?
First, Erwin, your birthday.
You haven't forgotten, have you?
Her eyes widen. She gasps.
Mother's.
Bless your years, child. I ought to crack you.
Father, please.
Hurry to the Lucericum and pray that her ghost might yet forgive you.
Yes, Father, forgive me.
Alessia rises from the table and exits the room. The candles dim for a moment as she shuts the door, and Martel is left alone with the stalker.
Mr. Flint?
Yes, my lord.
Your report on the Fowlum situation.
The citizens' casting mill?
Martel sighs.
Chief Inspector Hale has mounted an admirable assault, but the fortifications have proven stronger than anticipated. We believe they may be using geometer shields. As such, the guard has been called in. A few detachments of paladins and grenadiers, even some keepers of light. They'll be crushed before long.
I should have known that shop steward to be something of a revolutionary. No matter. How long can we expect?
The mill is entirely surrounded. Without access to supplies, they shan't last a week.
Martel drums his fingers on his breathing machine.
No. Let them keep up the mirage of this siege. Let a few supplies in, even. With moles, eyes. Let them think they're winning. The Fowlamites have just elected themselves our lab rats. Now make haste and fetch my carriage. We mustn't keep the Raven waiting.
Yes, my lord.
Am I playing that right? Like, he's like on a iron lung basically now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I was like, I know, I realized that the the contrast of his speech scene to this, but I was...
No, it's
okay.
great. It's good.
I was
Guys,
hoping I was
I
reading
don't-
incorrectly.
Yeah, I've been soy facing the whole time because this is like the characters that I'm writing currently.
Oh, nice. I hope we're doing him
The
justice.
only thing about Martel is your accent is maybe a little lowbrow for this high man of society.
Yes. Okay. Noted.
Scene 3, internal, underground laboratory, sometime later. Martel and the stalker enter a dim room. Calculating engines whir in the jaundiced lamplights. Shelves line the stone walls, brimming with medical instruments, arcane devices, and organs suspended in formaldehyde. At its center sits an examination table with a strange device upon it, what appears to be some kind of brass sphere with many glass eyelets. Martel is eyeing it. The raven emerges from a shadow, ponderous and looming. It is gorging itself on a pomegranate.
I trust the work is nearly complete, which is how he sounded
raven-
the whole time.
Yes. The raven laughs in strange tones, half avian, half mammalian. Its ink-black eyes betray no emotion.
Patience, patience, my lord. Have you faith in my designs? We face challenges, yes, challenges in the device.
What sort of challenges?
The sorceries are slippery, slippery as a creeping worm. We need more time, more test subjects, but primarily more time.
Spare me your excuses. It's been years of more time. I demand results. Confound you!
Martel coughing in a fit. The stalker offers a handkerchief into which he hacks spittle.
Hack too.
Okay.
He clears his throat.
Well, I should say we may be able to assist you in the way of subjects. But,
Tears well up in his eyes.
oh, my Lucille, I don't know how much longer I can bear this life without you.
Peace, peace upon ye, man. There is hope yet. The sorcerer you plucked, the Yolian, he has been helpful, yes, but he requires assistance.
Oh?
He demands the boy, his pupil. Only then will your great work be complete, my lord.
And how, pray tell, shall we acquire this pupil?
Worry not, Robert, for he shall soon be ours.
In the center of the raven's great feathered head, a third eye socket opens. The creature extracts a slimy, pickled eye from a vial on the shelf and squeezes it in. The eye opens. Camera movements. Zoom into the raven's third eye. Zoom out from the orphan's empty eye socket.
Oh,
Before-
shit!
Internal, Oliver's laboratory, night. Wow. And this is where we find ourselves, folks.
All right, mad props for that, Kieran. That was so sick.
Amazing, Kieran.
Yeah, give yourself a Benny.
Give yourself a penny, damn it. That was so good.
God damn.
Hey, you guys played it so good. I'm like sitting here facing myself at you guys' performance.
I am too.
Oh, well, thanks.
That's the first time I've actually put on a voice for an actual fucking
Really? You
video.
were
Yeah, man.
amazing. Everybody was
Great.
so good.
Oh, right, because Oliver's
everyone-
voice is just your voice, basically,
My
just
voice, yeah,
higher.
exactly.
That's funny.
And
Wow.
Melissa, I was so surprised how well you got into the role of Alessia.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah, seriously.
Yes.
Well, she knows
awesome.
Alessia. We talk about the character
That's true.
Alessia a
That's
lot.
true.
So
Oh.
she got into it really quick.
Nice.
I tried to cast these characters to people who I thought could play them well. So you guys
Nice.
clearly did the job.
Well, I don't know what that means. If you think I could play Stalker well.
Which
I-
the,
I've played pathetic foppish men, so Cargyle is great.
Oh.
which in this world, the stalkers are kind of like magical mutants, basically.
Yeah, I try to like have
Enhanced.
that.
My lord.
They're
My lord.
enhanced by sorceries to give
Yes.
them the ability. Originally, their original purpose was to track thralls in the waste.
Ah.
But they've since had their services extended to many things that enhanced senses could do.
Okay.
For instance, tracking people.
Yes,
They
as we
are-
found
They
out.
are the Blade Runners of this world, you know? They're the master detectives.
Okay. Excellent.
They can find you wherever you hide.
Yeah.
And that's why that stalker, who you just saw in that beautiful scene played by Leon, he was the very stalker who was on your guy's tail.
Yeah. And he,
Excellent.
if I'm perceiving this right, he is now watching what's happening in this room through the orphan's empty eye.
Well, not the stalker,
Oh, the Raven, rather.
played by Polisa.
Yes, is now watching this all transpire. Holy shit.
Completely unbeknownst to you all.
Yes, yes, but the stakes are so high. They were already so high.
Whoa.
Christ.
Ugh,
This is what
Chills.
1 month of prep time gets you guys.
yeah, yeah.
Amazing. It was awesome. The pupil. When I heard that, I got chills. I said,
Ew.
oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God.
So they're
You
trying
know-
to capture. Are they trying to capture Oliver? Is that what that's happening?
The pupil.
Is that what that means?
I don't
Who's to
know.
say?
Who knows? But that's what it's. Let me shut up. Oh my god.
So I
All
believe
right.
we last left off at probably the most tense moment of this whole campaign.
Yes.
The orphan has just lopped off Mad Dog's arm. The Gyri girl seemingly levitated out of her bed, and commanded you all to cease. You all were held in the air, suspended by some arcane force, before collapsing to the ground as she released the spell. Now, I will say, it is 9 p.m., which is when we normally stop. So, how much longer are you guys good to go? Because I want to know, like, what to be ready for.
Yeah.
I'm feeling brave to say that I can do an hour. I don't know what anyone else wants to do. We could. This is perfect session 0 stop. Like, you know what I mean? But we can do a 0.5 to it.
Yeah.
I'm good with an hour.
Yeah, I'm good with an hour too.
I
you know, honestly, I could go 3 hours.
Well, yeah, okay, buddy.
Right.
Cosass.
3 hours before early.
Take us to midnight.
I probably could do another hour. I do have to get up at 5 a.m. 5:30 a.m.
Right.
So I think an hour is probably fine.
Okay.
I'm not opposed to stopping now and having this first one just be like the recap, but I feel like with all that build up, it might be good to just continue.
To actually have a scene that wasn't just that written out scene.
Right.
That was so good, though.
Yeah.
God.
So if everyone else is feeling it, I can go for another hour.
Yeah, I'm down.
Yeah.
Are we good?
Hell yeah.
Down. Yeah, that's
Down,
good.
down.
Okay.
Fuck yeah.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. So, like I just said, you fall to the ground. Who's the first to get up?
Wait, I fell to the ground too? Wait,
Yeah, she controlled everybody in the room.
man, what did I do anything?
Oh, she had a thought of you maybe going up to her in her bed and putting a gun to her face. And
Yeah,
she
I
said,
wonder.
no.
Right?
Where would that have come from?
She had a
Yeah,
plan.
seriously,
so
what are you
funny.
talking about, guys?
That's a pre-training. We didn't get to stream that yet, but for anybody wondering, that was when we were training.
Yeah.
Oliver seemed to enjoy using the little girl as training practice.
Yep.
In a non-canon way. We were just trying to figure out how to get this program that you're seeing here to work, which again, huge props to Kieran for learning a new framework of I don't even know what we call this, like digital tabletop, thanks to Mad Dog or Mateo in real life to finding it for us, and hopefully
Buying it.
and buying it, and please bear with us as we're all learning a new piece of software, so we're gonna do our best.
And frankly, I don't think we're going to have any combat today, so I think we're okay.
That's all right. Yeah.
So, for our viewers here, this space that we're in is Oliver's workshop. This is the place where Oliver, as a kid, built a little sanctuary to do his research, his research into magical technologies, and it's been abandoned for a couple years until we've unabandoned it and brought these characters here. And now we're hiding out in the middle, on the edge of town, basically, in what's called the Condemned District, where it's just a bunch of rotten old buildings that should have been knocked down years ago, but for some reason haven't been. And they're hiding basically from everybody because they're wanted by a lot of different people. And yeah, so we find ourselves in this cramped little workshop.
If I were to go at all, I feel like I would be like half conscious.
Oof.
Yeah, that's true.
I am
I
down.
don't know.
Tornado
You're
is
not
currently
bleeding out.
bleeding profusely.
Yeah.
The orphan, well, since no one else has taken the initiative, the orphan rises to his feet. He sort of leans on his sword that he presses into the ground. And he looks around at the mess he's made. He promptly wipes the blood off his blade, puts it in the scabbard, picks up the girl, and he starts to walk to the door.
I imagine I'm my days confusedly trying to claw at his hand with my phantom arm. I still think I can grip with, and I'm calling from don't you run from me, you fucker! Get back here! Get back here after taking me fucking arm. You're gonna leave like that?
He turns around and looks. A voice that he hasn't heard before. Mad Dog up to this point has been doing a very great South London accent.
Now y'all have to like that. I like it.
Dragging him in public.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Hey,
I'm not dragging him. That was in character.
Yeah.
This has all been in character.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
That was awesome. Okay, that was awesome.
So he just sort of looks at you, and he says, "Sorry for what I've done, but there's no taking it back now."
Yeah. Is that I'm still good for it. I think I could take you, and I'm trying to get up on my up from my knees. I think I'm gonna use my hand again, phantom hand syndrome, and I just use the stub, and I'm like just kneel over, fall over on myself face first.
Are you guys getting up to help him, or?
Tajak is.
Yeah, I definitely am.
Okay.
I'm like on the other side of the room, and I'm like hearing this, and I'm like, "Oh my God, Maddox!"
So often you're just gonna leave after cutting his arm off. You think we're not gonna get vengeance for this?
I don't need your fucking help.
He tried to kill me, girl.
Ven is the guy.
I got my own vengeance.
You didn't have to take anything out on him.
He turns to face the door again, and then he says, "I should say one thing before I go. The real reason I killed me keeper, it wasn't because he slew the whole village. See, I'm the craven bastard I am. I could have handled that. The real reason is what he did after. Because the craven keeper took all those bodies and all the folks who were left, and he tied them up in a knot, in a strange alchemical circle that he drew in the sand. I didn't understand what I was seeing, but before my eyes, I saw him take those people and cast a spell on them. And all those poor villages what he just slew. He tried to turn them into a thrall. I never seen anything like it in my life, and never since, because I slew the bastard where he stood. He tried to turn them all into a bloody thrall, what we're sent to kill, betraying the very mission, the very purpose of our existence, and I couldn't have it. So I killed him where he stood, and I took the only one that lived, which was this little girl.
Oh.
You know. And he turns, and he's gonna walk out.
Well, Oliver's gonna try to stop him.
Okay.
Orson, do you think this is the best thing to do right now? The streets are crowded.
Sorry, where's the girl? Oh, I hit her.
So
he's walking out
Oliver's
with
gonna...
her. Okay.
Here.
The best thing to do. I just chopped his bloody arm off. There's nothing left to do. I've got to go.
Tajak is looking around at the chaos that partially was wrought due to something in his mind being found out, and
You feel good about what you've done, do you, Captain?
I would do it again. For some secrets should not come to light, for the safety of all of you. We have traveled together, and yet we know nothing of each other, and that seems to be for the best.
If you refuse to open up, how can we support you, Captain? You decide to leave or run or hide the second anybody sees you.
Do you know what befell the last group of people who tried to support me by knowing this secret? The secret
Love to be enlightened.
that Sean here seemed entitled to by prying into my mind against my consent. Well, it is as they say, dead men tell no tales. I think it's best
Great parts of the Caribbean.
if I thank you. Now I find myself more aligned with the orphan here, and I fear it may be best for all of us if I leave as well, before more chaos ensues.
There you go again. What is leaving gonna solve? We have a plan. I mean,
I don't understand.
And it is best that you do not. And he's gonna start heading towards the door.
Can I make an action to move towards them?
Can you give me a vigor check to see if you don't just collapse from the pain?
Right.
Figure
Or bleed out.
that. I figured to ask.
Oh shit! That's a success with success with a raise. So you get up, holding your stump in your hand.
Can I use my bone armor spell? I'll tell
What are
you
you trying to do with it?
Well, I'm gonna use it to effectively cauterize the wound.
Cauter,
Yeah.
Yo.
yeah. Give me a spirit roll.
Ooh, I love the
Thank
dice rolling sound effect.
It's
I
good.
will Benny. I will Benny.
I sure hope you will. How many bennies you got?
And I will Benny.
Damn,
Oh my god.
you guys with all these
And
bennies.
what just reminded me that I wanted to give you all 2 bennies from last session.
Oh, nice.
Everyone,
Aw.
go ahead and
Alright.
give yourself 2 bennies.
I'm going to keep Benny.
Keep trying.
We can just do that
Benny.
in our character sheets,
Oh,
right?
How many bennies do we
Oh,
get?
cool.
Give me
2.
2 bennies.
Oh, 2. God.
2. So that's a success. So at
Three.
long last, with so this is your left arm that he chopped off.
Yeah.
So with that great pains, the bones shoot through your arm,
Oh.
extend out grotesquely, and the wound is closed up, but only as long as you have that spell active.
Shit.
I get up and I look at them and I'm like, it's an arm. I could fucking lose it again and again. It doesn't matter.
I could do
I'm
this
still
all
ready to
day.
go. The fucking plan is still on. I'm gonna fucking cure this thing, right, Oliver? We're curing this? I'm like still dazed. I'm like confused.
Maddox, you need to calm down.
I'll cure it.
You just let me heal it.
That's true. That's true. I'm probably looking like you're probably trying to grab me to heal it.
Sean, give it a healing spell. Do you want to cast a healing spell? Or wait, do you have a healing spell, or do you just have healing like
Both.
items?
Okay.
Both.
I do
I thought she had a
both.
spell, yeah.
She does. Now, if you look in your quick access on your character sheet, you should see healing. So first, cast roll spirit.
Oh my god, babe. I'm
So
crying.
there's no bennying a critical failure.
Damn, critical fail.
You hold
That's
your branch,
okay.
you hold your branch aloft, and as you try to cast the spell, and what I want you to do actually is go ahead and click on your character sheet, and go under healing. Click on the healing, and then subtract.
Oh, shit.
Because it casts anyway.
I was gonna.
So
It blows his other arm off.
Oh
the spell casts only. It doesn't heal the wound. It locks the bones in his arm like that. So it's Madog. If you try to bring the bones back in, they don't. They are stuck. You have a club for an arm.
Yo. Just like a bony
You
claw,
tried,
like
Sean. That's
Baraka
okay.
arm.
I'd like look at her. I'm
Yeah.
like, did you? It didn't heal. What did
At
you
least
do?
we got the bleeding to stop.
I'd look at them.
Yeah.
I'd look at them. I'm still like
Always
really
the
dazed.
optimist.
Yeah.
I'd look at them all really dazed. And like, you see, I'm fine. We could keep going. You don't fucking need the orphan. We can still keep going.
Yeah, I'm
Wait,
reckoning
while
maybe
you're
we
ahead.
need to get you somewhere else, like for help.
Mentally, physically.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well, if
Every kind of way.
the shoe fits, I suppose.
People, this infighting shouldn't have happened. We should be sticking together, not apart. They're just gonna pick us off. You saw that stalker. Martel has eyes everywhere. They'll just pick you off one by one.
Well, tell that to
think
the
we should just stay
captain.
together. Well, I am, Ven. Maybe you stop antagonizing the captain. We could get together.
Oh, how is it my problem that he can't open up to anybody but himself?
That's his own prerogative. No one else's prerogative but his own. What we need to do is stick together. And Orson, I think it's
He
best.
looks at you.
if you keep the girl here, it's safer. No one's going to threaten her. Especially after that showing.
You sure of that? People have done tried.
I will protect her with my own life as well.
I've done too much. It's time for me to go.
It's no issue, Orson. Please.
He looks unsure. And as you're all having this dialogue, you remember Orson had a torque around his neck, a sort of metal band that circles around and comes to two little points in the front, and it vibrates when there's danger nearby. And you see it start jiggling. It starts jittering and jumping. And he looks around. What the fuck?
That can't be good.
And as you two are, or as everyone in here is sort of looking at each other uneasily. Sorry, I'm learning this system. Hold on.
I'm seeing there's things happening.
I'm moving these people over here.
Tajak, being very familiar with the Enorian Guard, seeing that activate, he's drawn. He's pistols in hand.
Mm-hmm.
I'm probably bring more trouble then. Is that it now?
Sorry, this wouldn't have taken this long in real life.
I'm gonna get in front of you there right now.
Sorry, I just have to change one thing. Okay, as this is all happening, two familiar faces come into the door.
Trunchbull.
Oh shit! Not the Trunchbull. It's the Chokey for all of you.
Whoa! J.P. Morgan and the Trunchbull entered the chat. Henry Ford.
Amanda Smith.
Some lovely tokens, of which I had to make a lot of characters, and so I started going for actors.
That's great.
I love it. This was the right decision.
So we have someone who would be very familiar, or somewhat familiar, to you guys. And one person who would be very familiar. The person at the bottom is Bellis Steelwright Swan, the strong-armed woman in the whirligig who bends steel with her bare hands.
Right.
And next to her is someone that you guys haven't met, the Polisa and Andrew. You guys haven't met him. It's this little dude right here whose name tag isn't popping up, which it totally should be. Token.
Okay.
Identity.
No, I think they've met him. That's the fire guy, right?
The fire guy?
Oh,
no, that's another guy. That's another guy.
Okay.
This is, so he's the guy that you two met before, Talus Taylor. This is the guy who was the kind of weird cagey dude in the house who you went to and got the autocaster from.
Mm-hmm.
And if you remember, they kind of knew each other, but it seemed like they're associates. It seemed like Talus Taylor might have had a thing for Bellis. But so Talus walks in, kind of looking how he does, how his token does. He's quite short, like 5'2", very short man even of his day. And the woman Bellis, she towers over him at about 6'6", massive, broad shoulders, like a woman, a very strong woman, a motherly force. So they suddenly poke their heads in through the door. And you see Talus Taylor, the man, sort of sniffing around wildly, almost like a dog. And he pops his head in. And Bellis, the woman at the bottom, she says, "Mad Dog, it's been ages. Oh, God, what's happened to you?"
Oh, friend, that's a sight for sore eyes.
Speak for yourself. She comes up to you and she starts like holding your arm, and Talus Taylor, he looks at you, Oliver, and he's like, "I trust you're taking care of my autocaster."
Ah, yes. As I look at Ven, who has that autocaster.
Right.
Yes,
that's
but Mr. Bowler Hat, was it?
Talus Taylor at your service.
Oh, Miss Taylor, yes, good. But how exactly is it that you were able to find us down here? It's not exactly an easy location, I imagine.
You're quite right. In fact, it's taken me quite a long time to find you all. But, well, I guess you didn't know this before, but I am indeed a stalker, or at least I was.
I worked for a long time in my role as a stalker, but I've broken free, as it were. I've been working with the Working Man's Hands, which is the union, the Working Man's Hands, for quite some years now, and putting my work to good use with them. Well, this time, on this night, I had the pleasure of coming with Miss Steelwright to find you all, because, as you might be aware, we hands are in a bit of dire straits right now. Are you aware of what's been transpiring at the Fowlham casting mill?
Well, I'd love to be enlightened. I might have heard it, I might not have heard it. But you should share it with others.
Because you were there. In fact, you were the ones who started this whole kerfuffle, as it were.
Bellis sort of rolls her eyes and crosses her arms.
Don't call it a kerfuffle. Well, it is a bit of a kerfuffle. Being that the overseer was slain, and the workers, they took to that. They really took to that.
And you're sure that was us?
I caught the scent of it. There was, I believe, a focusing cone missing. I smelled quite a strong scent on it.
Yeah. I'm sure that a number of focusing cones have probably gone missing in the area. You know how thievery is.
He points to the one that's in the office.
It wouldn't happen to be that one, would it? Because I can smell it.
You know, I really like your hat. It's a lovely hat. Probably keeps you very dry in the winter and very cool in the summer.
I appreciate it.
Yes,
I take my fashion very seriously.
Yes, I'll be over here. Thank you.
Wait, but if you're able to track us down, does that mean this place isn't safe?
Isn't safe? Well, it's certainly far out of the way. It took me quite a long time to get here.
How would we be able to mask our scent from other stalkers, Mr. Taylor?
Well, there are methods, not so savory. People are known to coat themselves in the piss of wild animals, but that often doesn't work as well as they think it does.
That's not good. That's
And
not
the
good at
orphan
all.
sort of looks at you, looks at everyone, and he says,
Who the fuck is this?
Yeah, he's not acquainted with them. Maybe Steel, right?
he knows Steel, right,
That's
but he has no
Thomas
idea who this
Top
guy is.
Hat, my good man.
Thomas Top Hat.
Mr. Top Hat.
I don't believe we've met before. He looks at him like this.
And he says, well, yes, I don't believe we have, but it's a pleasure to make your acquaintance.
The orphan doesn't touch it. He doesn't shake his hand.
Don't talk to that good orphan scum.
My friend, you tried to kill a child. I wouldn't be talking about scum if I were you.
Woo,
Only
fuck
because
you.
you attacked me.
Fuck you, man. I know what paladins do on their free time. You did one good deed in your life and what? Now you're a fucking hero for a little girl. Not that moved.
Whoa.
Like I said, I'll be
People,
leaving.
stop. Wait, okay. Everyone, stop fighting. What's done is done. We're stronger together. Mad Dog, you have an arm. You don't have two arms, you have an arm.
And Bellis is looking very intently at that. She says,
I actually know someone who might be able to help you with that, if you're fixing to follow us.
Oi. Yes, I'm ready. Put some steel on me, Steel, right?
Well, unfortunately, I haven't got much on me, but, well, I told you, like the little man said, there's a bit of a situation transpiring in Fowlham. The casting mill, well, we've taken to calling it a citizen's casting mill. It's a bit of a hotbed, and we're fixing to hold it indefinitely.
Definitely. What are you talking about?
Well, the union has come to an agreement that it's probably in all of our best interests. So, well, in for a penny, in for a pound, as it were. Or should I say, in for a stiver, or in for a barney? If I'm being more accurate. Well, since you've been such good helps before, we think you might be good helps. Hence, see, we've got a bit of a revolutionary spark. It's ignited a fire in the casting mill. And we thought that y'all might be good citizens, as it were. If you're fixing to help us.
Well, can I lean into Steelright and ask her a question?
Yeah. You want?
Listen.
Yeah, she's right in front of you.
Listen, Steelright. Does this happen to anything to do with the ALF?
The ALF. I'm sure some of them are helping, but this is mostly a union matter.
I'd expect the Union to fight a fully formed war.
As I said, in for a Stiver, in for a Barney.
Well, that Paladin is a real fucking Magnite killer. He doesn't care about it. He'll do it. Do it for anything, including Barneys. If we can get him on our side, I might put fucking bygones as bygones.
Well, speaking of Barneys, and the orphan calls up, speaking of Barneys, I believe we had a payment agreement. And I believe my end hasn't been held up necessarily. Or I believe your end. I believe your end hasn't been held up necessarily.
See, it definitely was. But we'll keep it. I remember giving him Barnacle.
You gave me Barneys before, but it's been a long time and I've done a lot of work with you.
Well, take my fucking hand and you can sell it to some fucking weirdo. Probably get it for a few Barnacles. I know that what them Yoli's are up to. They eat fucking oddish meat. They think it gives them special powers.
No, we don't.
Oof.
Trust me,
I wouldn't be surprised if some people thought that.
Give me the coins and I'll stay.
Look at that,
Okay.
a mercenary.
Don't give him the coins. Let him leave.
Oh, please. He's a mercenary. He needs the coins. What are you gonna go do with it, huh? Get some Jag brew. Go on a little den.
Coins and Jag brew are the few things that this man and I understand in this world. Everything else is quite a complicated mystery. And he's kind of moving more towards the door again, like with the orphan. Or, oh, did I move? I'm trying to move.
Oh.
I can't.
Let's see.
I can't move.
You?
Well,
Are
you
you
can't
in
move-
with
wait,
us? We can't
where's
see
your
your
guy?
name.
You
You
have
guys
to
are here.
stay.
Where did I?
Refresh.
Oh.
No, refresh.
Yeah,
We can't
you're not
see
in the
your
room
name.
with us.
Oh, weird.
Oh.
There you. Now you're
Yeah.
in.
Okay, and I don't see Ven either. Ven, if you also want to quit and quit out
Oh,
and
that's
join
weird.
back.
Yeah. Let me. Do you think just do a refresh real quick?
That's
Yeah,
I think
sure.
that'll work. That's so funny. You guys got like I don't know, idle.
We got
booted.
booted. Yeah,
Yeah, I guess. So.
That's so weird.
we
Oh,
lapsed.
what'd you spend a
Just-
penny on?
I just realized there's a quick place to.
There, you guys are
Regardless.
in now. You're good.
Okay.
Okay. Sweet.
Tajak, are you controlling your guy?
Yeah, so he's gonna move. Okay,
Great.
cool. He moved.
Leon, are you purposely blocking the door?
Yes. Oliver is purposefully outside the door, blocking it.
Okay.
So,
Where are you gonna go, Orson? If you were to leave.
Any place is as good as here, I suppose. I've
But
been
you're
all
carrying-
around Coidwin, Canolfin, even the Wireveld. There's nowhere I can't go.
Do you think that's good for the girl?
What was good for her was if that keeper never killed all of her family. But that's done now.
Exactly.
This is the
it's-
best she can get.
Exactly. No, it could get better. This is a good place as any, as you said.
I appreciate your idealism, friend. But if this stalker was able to track you here, what do you think of Martel's stalker? You think he's any the stupider?
Yeah, he's got a point there, Oliver.
He's a slimy one. He's not tough, just fast.
I could think of something else. I could just give me time, and I could think of a way to get out of here.
There's no
I
time.
get out of this.
It's time for
But
me to
there-
go.
And
Let him leave.
Bellis turns around and she sort of looks at you guys. It's like,
Look, if you're looking for somewhere to go, there's a perfectly good casting mill that needs hands. And y'all look like just the type.
I'm always down to kill fucking Magnites. You don't have to ask me twice.
Count me in.
What say the rest of you?
If he's going, I'm going.
This.
I need.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna. I need someone to heal me. My fucking bones hurt. I'm really
Yes.
sore. Just one little spell. Get me right up. Maybe some sap too while we're at it.
Oh, well, actually, I still have a few vials, though I don't know if it would help. Are you wanting just a drink, friend?
Bellis interjects.
He really probably shouldn't.
We just kind of tripped through reality and back again with a weird sand creature, and then a possessed little girl made us levitate in the air, so can't really blame him if he wants a little gold sap.
Little refresher.
I
It
can't.
would
I'll
do
see what
me
it done to
good.
him. Don't give it to him.
Oh no,
You'll turn into a right prick.
No.
You don't need any more.
Oh, come on.
Who?
You don't know how to take care of yourself.
Oh, all right,
Ooh.
all right. You don't need to say all
Well.
that in front of them.
Well, I will defer to the group's opinion. However, Mad Dog, if anything changes, let me know.
You got it then. And I want to make it clear to everyone, you didn't fucking hear shit, all right? I'm still that same bloke from the mills, all right? I don't care what the fuck you thought you heard. And Orphan, little Annie Orphan, you know, there's good money where the killing's at. The union always pays, isn't that right, Steel, right? Come kill Magnites with us if you want to be useful. And that little girl of yours, you can have a whole fortune to hide away in your own little castle in Ganolfin, where you belong.
Don't belong anywhere anymore.
All right. You
Oh.
say it all the same.
On that we agree.
Well, what'll it be?
Yeah, Talindi, you gonna tell him that you'd rather be alone on your way too?
Or do you want money? Real money. The union pays, and it pays well for us.
No amount of money could make it worth being a part of this struggle in this land I hardly know. Right now, it is in everyone's best interest, including my own, to go back to what I know. I need a reason to stay. And I need assurance that there will be no more prying eyes or ears or questions into things I may or may not know or keep close to myself. For
Dawn
yours.
rolls her eyes and she says, "Okay, but you should start trusting us soon. It seems like things are getting worse."
And I
Have to second the last there.
I was.
Oliver's going to interject. Trust is earned. It's not given. If we continue to fight amongst each other, we're not going to trust each other. Just trust in due time that we come together, and he'll tell us or whatever. It's his prerogative at the end of the day.
You know, I feel like this is a lesson that I feel like I probably learned somewhere along the way. Division. It splits really hard amongst the union, and it's no different from my time as a guerrilla. Many units decide what they think is best for the whole, but when they're all separate, they're much more easier to pick apart. I think it should be mentioned that there is in fact a warlock on our trail, that whether we decide that we're a part of this or we're not a part of this, the reality of it is that they decided that we're a part of this. Tajak, you can go off into the sunset. Maybe go take a trip back to Barnaca, but who's to say that ship won't fucking sink? Right? From under you. And you, Orphan, you've got that little girl with you. How long do you think you can run on the trail? Keep away from the peering eyes. You lost an eye, mate. And now everywhere you go, danger follows. Your time is ticking. Tick, tock, tick, tock, And if it's not going to be me to take you down, which I bloody wish it was at that moment, then it will be a warlock. Oh, yes, it will. You can only kill so many keepers before it comes up on you.
See his eyes boiling with rage. You think here is any better than the trail? You think I'm not on the trail right now? You think this is some safe haven? You're crazy. These bastards found us in a matter of days. What's Martell gonna think? We better go.
We're still alive, aren't we?
Barely. Barely.
I like these odds better than being alone, I'll say that much.
Oliver, you were gonna say?
Well, I was gonna say, yes, I think it's best if we stay together. It improves our odds drastically.
Look, even the numbers man says it.
The orphan.
I like numbers that improve my chances of not dying. So, again, count me in.
The orphan is considering all this. So even after I butcher you, you're still fixing to keep me around.
Let me tell you something, mate. I spent a lot of time killing Gnolfins like you. A lot. And the day came when I couldn't kill anymore, because they had taken everything that I had known. And I'll say this now. The only thing that matters is that I use any tool that I can at my disposal to kill them. And you, mate, are a right bloody fucking killing machine. If it means I can have you on my side even for one more little trance about in this little casting factory, I'll kill every fucking last Magnite with you if the money's good. What do you say to that?
It's a sword roundly in the scabbard and extends an arm to you, Madam.
Okay.
Which one, though?
You know what?
Took a stump.
And he's still got the girl in his other arm.
He holds it out between us in the space. Is it that big?
That's a one-piece arm.
Yeah.
Oh, true. So I should say each of these blocks represents about 5 feet. So.
Oh. That's helpful.
Fate dragged me forward, even though I wish I could just inch back.
The die has
What
been
a line. What a line.
So, do you not take his hand?
I do take his hand.
Because he's holding out his right, so it is to your still functioning hand.
It's to my still function. Oh, how polite.
Yeah, seriously.
We lock
Also because he's holding the girl in his left hand, so.
Yeah, the symbolic union right now of like gray and white, you know, Gnolfin Ard. This is a real moment. And he said that Mad Dog has decided, you know, money has trumped all odds at this venture. And you know what? He's gonna take it.
I'm gonna get in
That's
front
fair.
of Mad Dog here.
Yeah, you're
Really
gonna break it up real quick. You're like, okay.
Yeah.
So Bella's
I'm gonna say to the. I'm sorry.
No.
Go
Now
ahead,
you
go
gotta
ahead.
say it.
I'm gonna just say to the orphan, it may be okay with you guys now, but next time you touch him, your other eye's gone.
Oh shit.
Oh.
I'll keep that in mind.
Yes, Sean.
So Bellis sort of puts her hands together, her big, massive, meaty hand. Well, I suppose it's time. I don't know why she talks like the orphan.
She's his alter ego.
Listen.
It's so hard once you're talking like the orphan. It's so hard to get back into
Yeah.
the British accent. Hold on a second. Well, I think it's right time we get on the road, as it were.
Tajak. I'm gonna call out for Tajak.
Uh-huh.
You know, I'm gonna kind of nudge him. I'm like, we have to talk to him. We do. We have to talk to him. And I'm looking at Tajak and I'm like waving you down past the whole crowd of them, and they give me space because they're polite.
Because they're polite.
Moves everyone.
Just shoves them all out of the
The
way.
way you said that
Power
was
of
so
will.
wholesome. They give
Shove,
me
please.
space. They're
Shove,
polite.
please, guys. We have to make amends here. And I'm sure, actually, Ben, you're an important part of this. You really do.
Ben drags his feet.
And I look at Tajek and it's like, we're all somewhat responsible for this moment right now. And, you know, it's one thing with the orphan. He speaks to money. That's very easy for him. Don't tell him I said that once he's listening. It's too late. But, you know, I know you're a bleeding heart at the end of the day. And, oh, Jesus. I don't want to fucking say all this. Sean, can you please just interject? It's really fucking embarrassing.
Again, Sean rolls her eyes.
Ah,
Please be nice.
Tajek, I promise I won't sense your thoughts again until you're ready to disclose information.
And I had this other thought, and I'm not quite a fan of it, but to even the odds, we have this one here that can sense all kinds of thoughts. And if it would make it feel better, she could sense all our thoughts, and then she'd be all of our crypt keepers. To some degree.
wait a second here now. Didn't we start this as an apology, and now you're wanting to read our minds?
Suddenly, now it's a problem, then.
I mean,
Well,
That our secrets come to light. I may remind you all that my secret is not, my pants fell down in front of someone I cared about. This is a serious
you
issue.
don't know my life, old man. How dare you?
well, okay. I've got a little too excited there. Maybe for the ones who are comfortable.
Why can't this just be an apology?
It's just, you know, it was a bit.
Quit while you're ahead, Mad Dog.
I've reflected on it. I felt really, really bad about it. I mean,
No.
it is why I lost my arm in the end.
No, Mad Dog, you make a fair case. I'm being temperamental because I don't want the captain to leave. I said it. And I'm sorry, Captain, if you were hurt, I guess.
My pride is one thing. I care about you all. I may not know how to show it, but I do mean it when I say it is not for pride that I have kept things from you. We are building a connection, a partnership. It may have started on rocky grounds, yet I do take your lives seriously. Perhaps, were I to leave, it would only be endangering you directly instead of indirectly if certain things were to come to light. I do hope that I can share with you what I have discovered, but I need you to know, all of you, how high up this goes, which is what keeps me here. I came to this strange land for a reason. I must do something about this knowledge that I have been cursed with. And if staying with you all, this colorful band of ridiculousness, then so be it. And he looks a little bit relieved, still nervous. He looks a little bit relieved. He's looking around at this colorful band and looks a little bit extra long at Ven with a little bit of pain in his eyes that seems to be relieved.
Ven catches that and is a bit shocked, but recovers quickly and just kind of nods nod slowly. No words right now.
We're both too embarrassed. Me and
Yeah.
Sean are too embarrassed to really catch that moment between you. We're like, okay, let's walk away.
They're just like,
Well, I think apologies have been made and amends as well. So what about, getting on with it?
Well, we certainly can't fight anyone until Mad Og's arm is fixed, so do you know any healers nearby?
Oh, I know one. That's what I'm trying to take you to.
Oh.
Please, let's make our next steps now. Fucking eggs in my hand.
Right. And so all of us together are going to go out, and there's nothing outside this room, so just pretend.
I was clicking on the Discord
riding
with my
off
character.
into the sunset.
Before that happens, though, I wanted Oliver to walk up next to the orphan
Uh-huh.
and just whisper, I know deep down it isn't the money you're really after, but I think it was admirable what you did, slaying that crypt keeper, or that whatever the hell they're called. What's it called? I forgot
Keeper.
his name.
It's a regular keeper.
Yeah,
Keeper of
regular
light.
keeper. Yeah, that keeper.
Keeper of the crypt.
Yeah, the keeper. And I want you to know that although we have been paying you, I do consider you a part of this merry band of misfits, and I will help you if you ever ask. Maybe for a little coin, though. As Oliver chuckles.
He makes, for the first time, the orphan cracks a little smile. And says nothing.
His only friend. I'm glad that somebody's his friend. It could
You
be.
are my friend.
I don't know, does it?
Listen to the girl, but I don't know if she's a friend or she's like kind of his cat. Like he's kind of captured her in a way. Like she doesn't really have any option of being with him, you know.
Yeah.
Yes,
But where
that's
else is she gonna
true.
go? So he's kind of they're kind of stuck with each other. So I don't know if we can call them
Yeah.
friends.
Ah,
So maybe Oliver is his first friend.
Maybe. Oliver's a friend of everyone.
Tajak
little
was,
girl.
Tajak was
the
trying to
girl.
be his
Okay,
friend.
no, not canon. That's non-canon.
wait,
That's
it's not canon. It's not canon. Yeah,
Ultimate
you're right.
timeline.
Don't listen to it. We were,
Oh,
and it wasn't weird either.
Okay, stop.
I make you worse.
From that moment, you all go out into the darkness of the night, unsure of what may be ahead of you. But I think that's where we're going to leave it for tonight.
Yeah.
All right.
Awesome.
Wow. I feel like me, the player, I feel lighter. Like I feel like all the tension that was very real, just like, okay, maybe we can do this.
Yeah, right. That's
That
good.
was-
Just
Felt great.
unclenched my butthole for the first time in a month.
Oh my God.
Dude, no, we've been sitting with this since the 2nd of June.
Yeah.
2nd of June. That was when
Oh,
we had our
man.
last session. So yeah, I feel the same way. I've been just waiting and anticipating and
Yeah.
creating all this shit, and yeah, I'm really glad.
Oh my God,
we
the
finally got
scene
to
you
do
wrote was
this.
amazing.
That was awesome.
It was
Yeah,
so
that
great
was
to do
really
a
cool.
live
That was
reading.
really cool.
Thank you so much for that.
Mhm.
It's gonna be cool to go back and listen to it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Now we've immortalized it. It's out on the
Yeah.
internet now.
Yes.
Crazy.
Anyone who's still poking around in chat, lurking, we see you, we love you. Drop a comment on what you thought. This was our first session. We're trying something new here on the Experience Point. I've been wanting to do more tabletop stuff, and this worked out really nicely. It felt really natural. Like I know, like I'm the streamer, so like I'm used to being on camera, but you guys all like crushed it. Like even
Well,
like
it's easy because
I'm-
it feels exactly the same as how we normally do it.
Yeah.
Just
No, if
pretend
I'm
that
being
there's no
honest, I
watching.
totally
Good.
forgot. Like, if I'm being honest, I
Yeah.
totally forgot we were on like stream.
Oh,
I was like-
nice.
I got
was
in.
like, oh, okay.
I got
Yeah.
in it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I felt a lot of great energy from all of you. I love you guys. Oh. I'm getting all
Like, a real heart to heart like our group did tonight.
I know.
agree. Oh, this is
seriously.
so much fun. The best stress relief.
Yeah.
It is.
No, really, it's
Like,
super
I'm-
cool. I love the
for the
feeling.
week. Yeah.
Well, everybody, thank you so much. Thank you, everyone in the chat, for watching.
Yeah. Thank you. My usual sign off is thank you guys, thank you gals, thank you non-binary pals. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, go to therapy, and play a tabletop RPG. God damn it!
Yeah.
Yes.
So good.
Tell some fun
Good.
stories with your friends, and yeah, share things with each other. Share experiences. That's what the experience point is all about. So, thank you, players. Thank you, GM. Thank you, viewers. Whether you're watching here live or after the fact on YouTube, let us know if you want to see more of this. We're probably going to do it regardless because this was a lot of fun. But yeah, it's always nice to know how people feel. Anything we should do differently. Thanks for bearing with us as we're trying something new and very exciting. With that, I guess we can sign off.
Killer.
I've got
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
so long, friends. Good night.
Au revoir.
Stay frosty.